along. Not at a track this week. It's quite nice to be at home. It was quite stressful doing outside broadcast. Anyway, a few stragglers still to join, but I am pleased to be joined by Romford judge Ryan. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Very well. How are you?
Not too bad. We'll save the judge part to a bit later, I think, though.
Yeah. We were just saying on
Friday.
Yeah, it's not an easy card, is it? There's not too many obvious ones.
It's not, and if there is, they always get turned over anyway. So,
well, maybe that will change tonight. We've not done too well on the Romford watch-alongs, but it's been difficult when we've done them. Like, game's been all over the place, and there was hosepipe gate and all of that.
I think, oh yeah, that geezer standing at the front, at the first bend, last bend.
Yeah.
Waterlogging it.
Okay. So, how long have you been doing Romford for?
I'd say probably since I got into the dogs. To be fair, this was probably about 12 years ago. It's been my main track, so I've always been there. But kind of seriously, kind of looking at every meeting and stuff like that, you're probably looking for the last 6 years, maybe 7 years.
Okay.
But obviously, I've got a job alongside, so it's not full time or anything like that. So I do miss meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, a long time to be fair. So graders and stuff, I know them pretty much inside out. And then the open races, obviously, they probably turn out in week out anyway, so that becomes a bit easier as well.
Yes. Hello, Rob.
How you doing? You all right? Sorry, gents, for the delay.
No worries. Nice to have you with us. You okay?
Sorry, wants to do an update. So.
That's fine.
Yeah,
good. It's an earlier start than usual, and currently there are 0 people watching, so we're all right. We're just talking between ourselves. But the rest will join. There's quite a few on Twitter, to be fair, and we've got PL. Hello, Mr. Lawrence.
All right.
Yep.
How are we?
How are you doing? Yeah, good.
What we got? Let's go for that way. So yeah, we were just talking to Ryan about his Romford track record, pedigree. Been following the track closely, 6 years. Does all the graders. What's your story, Rob?
I'm probably the opposite to Ryan. More the open scene at Romford, and obviously open scene around the country. Got dogs with Nathan Hunt, so I help out there as well. The kennel gets me out the house, and get to see all the dogs in action.
Where are you based, Rob?
Sorry?
Where do you live?
I'm Romford. I live 2 minutes from the track.
That's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
So you there most Friday nights?
They'll probably think something's wrong that I'm not there tonight.
Call out search party.
Yeah, Roger will be knocking on your door.
He'll be happy I'm not there.
Do you do well off him?
Overall, yeah. Well, there's a few of us that get down there. You know, we've all got quite a good opinion. So it's he does gets his fair share of losers, and obviously gets his winners. But most of them, they don't like it when we turn up in forces, to be honest. So.
And do you normally bet the weekends and stuff, Ryan? Do you bet on track? Do you bet with the bookies? How do you normally do
it? To be fair, I'm at the track normally on his weekend and stuff. Sometimes the bookies, but normally on the exchanges and stuff like that. It's hard to get on. But open meetings and stuff, I'll go down and have a bit of Roger normally. I think everyone does him, don't they?
Smash.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it depends if I'm at the track. I'm not at the track as much as I was, because when we were speaking off air, I've got the little one and stuff, so I'm not down there as much as I'd like to be. I was down there every Friday night, Saturdays, when they had the Wednesday meetings before they changed it to the Tuesdays. I'd be over there on the evening. That was quite a good evening. But yeah, it's changed a lot now.
Yeah. Your sound's a bit ropey, Ryan. Have you got a different microphone you could use, or wireless, or Wi-Fi, or have a play about? We'll get there.
What about if I hold it a bit closer? Is it a little bit better?
Bit robot-y. How's it for you guys?
Yeah, it sounds robot-y.
A bit muffled.
Have a play about. We'll get there. So, anyone got any naps for today?
I fancy one of Nathan's in the 7-18 race 5. Bang on Harry. He's got a very nice draw.
Yeah, me and PL were having a look earlier. Mine's probably Burgess Glengar today, but there's not a lot that are really obvious, are there?
No, there's a couple of big prices I thought that can go well in some tricky races. Like race 3, I thought Chelmsford Hampstead was well drawn, knowing that 4-3-2 1 all going to rail. Come away quite well last week, but I'm just not too sure the switch back to coasters will do it any favours. But
Yeah,
we'll soon see it. 12-1, I thought was a bit of value.
we like a bit of value. Okay, I'm just posting the link on Twitter. Okay. It's life's in disarray at the moment. I went out last night for the football. Not good as an Arsenal fan. And that's meant coming back today and having to have the baby for the whole time as make up for not being in last night. But that's all right. Got the card done. That's the most important thing.
You didn't put the link in though, Tom, did you? There, we are live.
I'm just putting it up now.
Right. Because I'll retweet it.
There we go. Okay, we've got a race to talk about here, haven't we? 6:28. Here we go. What do we fancy in this one, chaps?
I thought it was a tricky race, to be fair. Could make a case for all of them, really. Probably bar trap 6, but I'm not really into the graded much at Romford, so probably just follow the kennel. If Lulu can hold the rail, she's a strong type. She's on the bunny, and they won't be back running her. She'll stay all day. She has got a good break in her every now and then. So yeah, I'll be with 1.
Be with 1. Lulu, you go. I quite like Wastehouse Izzy in this one. 13:59, 13:68 sort of sectional probably is enough to lead this. And if she's getting around in 35:60 odd, I can't see how anything would be able to back run Wastehouse Izzy. How did you see it, PL?
I didn't. I was just hoping that you would know what the crack was. Being a grade race.
Well, we need Ryan for that.
Yes.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
You are back.
Beautiful.
That's better.
Yeah. Lovely. All right.
We need to know where you fancy riding this grade race.
Yeah, to be fair, I found it quite tough. I backed Junie when she got dropped into an S2 her first time over the trip. I've managed to get on at 7-2 and she went on 5-6 and won easily. Loaded Judy. She ran well over the trip last time out, first time over the trip again. Waste has Izzy. I backed that on Saturday. That absolutely tore the field apart off the front again. I don't know if it's going to be a fast track off the front again because of the weather, but I probably would side with Put for Junie. But then Lulu, you go, if that turns anywhere close, I think it might be hunting it down round the final bends. But I'd stick my neck out and Put for Junie, but it wouldn't be a strong selection, to be fair.
Okay. That's 3 dogs in the race.
Yeah. No, I would go and Put for Junie just off the front, and hopefully she just gets home with no one catching her. So that would be my pick, but it wouldn't be strong.
Okay. Should we have a little interest on that one, PL? Maybe a saver on Lulu, you go.
It might be worth doing a place bet on Lulu, you go if there's a decent price about it.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, not too bad.
3s ain't too bad, yeah.
Can you just turn your telly down a bit, Ryan?
Mine's on mute.
That might be me. I've got RP
there we
TV
go.
on.
It's all right.
Again. I think I went off when everyone was saying this. Did anyone have a strong bet tonight?
Not strong. Strong is not the word.
Right, so we've literally played very, very small here just to have a bit of a joiner in the grader race. We've had a tenner on putt for Junie, a fiver on Lulu, you go, and then we've had a tenner place bet on Lulu, you go, which Tom's just going to show us. Yeah, so that kind of cover if we don't get a win.
Yeah, that's good.
So just a little small interest to kick off. Laid out literally 25 quid.
It is a nice thing about playing the exchange is you get some big prices on stuff and you can just have a few quid to cover yourself. And
Yeah,
it got us out of trouble at Toaster, didn't it?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I played today at Crayford, and one particular race had a fair bet on one dog, and then just covered on two other dogs, and they're dead eated. The one dog dead eated with the four dog who are covered on a big price. So yeah, so you can do that, and that I think you're right, Tom. When you get the bit of value and you can see they're betting to small percentages. Especially near the off, you can just box around and I think sometimes it's making sure you don't actually leave it behind.
Yeah,
and of course you can always lay as well. So it's all. I think it's all what prices dictate really. Got a bit of time till this first race. We've got to go over the far side yet. So Ryan, do you do like a tissue, your own tissue?
Yeah, I do. To be fair, I put Julian probably at about 5 to 2, 3 to 1. So where it is at the minute, it's probably about the right price.
And tell me, when you price your races, what sort of percentage do you price to?
I price mine to 100%.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jeez,
yeah. Just to give myself an idea of
everyone tells me, Ryan, you should do that. Yeah, everyone tells me. Listen, I bet I priced to 110 only because in the old days I was told to price to 120, 122, that sort of thing. And then as I've developed and I'm doing a bit of work for the Tow UK, we're trying to get a 10% model going, which has been going for a year now. So basically all I do now is I price to 110. And I just find even then when I'm betting on the earlies, I know that when I see the earlies, I can bet accordingly. And obviously then, yeah, you can still adjust and you're probably still going to play on the exchanges near to post time. So, but that's impressive. So yeah, fair play to you. Tip me out to you.
Yeah, I think if you was to do your tissue to 110, 120, it gives you a bit of leeway when the prices do come out, to be fair. So I can see where you're coming from, but I'll always do it to 100 just so I know bang on where my prices would be, just to see if I'm getting value for it. And then if the price just drops dramatically, there's just no point. But when we were saying about the exchanges a minute ago, sometimes you'll get a dog that SP is 6 to 1, say, and then you can get a place bet at about 4s because on the machine it's going up to 14 to 1 and silly prices. So you'll just go and place it anyway.
Yeah. So you do that quite a lot then, you place dogs, yeah?
Yeah, if I know that the price is way too big, I'll always, especially because you got a double chance at getting the money back on it. But I'll always have a little bit on the win as well, because if it does win, you'll be a bit gutted if you missed out on the 40.
Yeah, that's what Harry Finley always says that to me. He said, you always when it's a big price, it's a wrong price. You always have that little bit on to save the brain damage, just in case, because you just wreck your head if you didn't. So yeah, so that's a good way of playing. Fair play.
Had a few entrants for our last man standing competition. I'll attempt to form those into a readable spreadsheet, which has not been as straightforward as I thought it would be.
How many entries, Tom? Good, bad? What is it?
I did put it up late in the day. So we've had 15 entries, which is not too bad.
Yeah, of course. There's I see David B actually retweeted it because he's doing the Derby comp that a lot of people are involved with, which is good because he's raising a bit for Lincolnshire retired greyhounds as well. Which is
he is. It's a good competition, that. Right, going behind here.
So, what are we expecting to happen with Pot for Junie lead?
Yeah, she needs to bang out and do it off the front. If she gets led up, I can't see her doing much. Lulu You Go obviously can do it both ways. So, yeah, you need her to bang out.
Okay, there we go then. Here approaches him. Rehome a retired Greyhound Stakes, an S1 contest, 6 pence a grade. And away on racing on one has smashed out Lulu You Go, who's going to lead into the turn. Lulu You Go then joined by Loaded Judy up on the outside, and they dispute coming out the second turn, followed through by Barfit Bullet. Behind these comes Pot for Junie, and at the back we've got Riyadh Magic and Waste Houses. He hasn't led. So go down the far side, Lulu You Go is stretched 3-4 lengths clear ahead of Loaded Judy in second, just in front of Barfit Bullet. Around the last 2 bends, Red Jacket, Lulu You Go, still 3 lengths. 4 is trying to close Loaded Judy up towards the line. The work is done. Lulu You Go wins. Ends for Nathan Hunt and Mr. D.A. Birch. Yeah, good start.
Have you opened with a 10-1 winner, Ryan?
Well, we got a place bit on it. We'll be subtle on it.
Yeah.
Rob could have given us the heads up on it, couldn't he?
Place. Quality, absolute quality.
Lovely, Nick. That was.
I'll put my feet up now.
Yeah.
You've had your winner.
That's it. I'm off. It's been nice.
You put it up as well. To be fair, Rob, you put it up as well. We'll have a bit more of that tonight.
That's a good start.
That's a very good start. Unusually good PL.
It's what you call a Brucey bonus, that race.
Yeah, it's funny that the graded at Rom. I mean, everyone watches a Friday night. The bookies say this is their biggest turnover meeting of the week, and I'm sure RPG TV get the most views for this one for Friday. But in terms of picking the dogs, the chat comes alive for the graded races. There's a lot of people who really, really follow the graded at Romford. Yeah. I think it's quite a hard track to follow just because of the sheer number of meetings.
Yeah,
it's a second full-time job, really, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was, I think in 2000, I went back to Romford and I was punting there. When I first started punting, I was sort of literally a greenhorn in the early 80s. And then I was racing manager at Crayford in 1990 to 2000. And then I started at Go Barkley Mad Broadcasting in 2000. I was punting what you might call professionally and learning how to punt professionally as well at Romford. So, yeah, it's always been a track that I think you can win at. It's quite close to my heart, and as a track that I started off at, and I guess a little bit like Ryan, really, and Rob for that matter, both young guys, both local to Romford, I assume, and you kind of, once you get into it, it's difficult to get out of it again, I suppose.
What do you think since it's moved to the other side, Ryan?
To be fair, I'm just happy it's there, to be fair, because there was a time when we thought it was going to go, so you can't begrudge that. But they had a blank canvas to work with to a certain extent, and I think they've just fucked it up completely. The viewing, especially from the restaurant, I went in a restaurant once, and you can't really see anything, to be fair. So the restaurant ain't all that to be in terms of a viewing aspect. The terraces ain't too bad, to be fair, on a Friday and stuff like that, but yeah, you can never beat the old side. As soon as a dog went round in front when the Oreos went up and stuff like that. And obviously we won't keep banging on about it, but the camera angle now is it's less than cinematic, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
it's ridiculous, yeah. That is disappointing. And the thing is like I just mentioned, when you kind of got that little bit of an affinity to the track, and we probably all have, because I lived in Romford at one stage, and so and Seven Kings. So I was, it was my local track, and for a big part of my life. And when you see things like that, you just think, why have you done that? What? Because you're not, I think that's like really why me and Tom have done this, is because we really love dog racing. And we get people on that really love dog racing, and we keep coming up with the same things. And you're right, Ryan. You kind of think, we've over-regged this one, but if you can see it, why can't they see it? And why don't they do something about it?
I think there's been loads of different videos on social media. So when the Sows were there, you had, I think they filmed like a 15-second clip of them coming out the traps from the angle from the judges' box. And even that was a million times better than what we've got now. And I saw a tweet from Rhea Mullins when one of her dogs was trialling back on after an injury. And obviously they're at the first bend where the kennels are. And even just a little video footage of on the phone, you saw the dogs come out where they was going.
Yeah.
And then when you go and view it back on YouTube, the trial, you can't see any of that was going on. You just see the traps open, they go out, and then when they get to the first bend, you've kind of worked out where they've gone on the run up.
It's funny actually, because JK contacted me. I did a thing because I used to be a guest on Racing Post TV quite regular, and I kind of just, for me personally, just kind of outlasted its sell by date, and again, without Racing Post TV, now Sky Racing's gone, then we do need Racing Post TV.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things in the sport.
He contacted me to do the Derby Lanes, Tom, today. And I did it on a regular basis. And like Ryan just said, the reason that's why I fetched it up, because really, you have a head-on camera just for the Derby. Why is it just for the Derby? Why is it there all the time?
I mean,
because the Aussies have it all the time.
I say even in America, seeing that Kentucky Derby and seeing the winner where he come from the drone. I mean, it's not hard, is it? Like,
no,
20th century. But
yeah, exactly. It's
we're in a stone age.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so disappointing that you've got like a commercial manager and you've got all these people that got all these jobs now at the GBGB, but it doesn't seem as though there's a lot of effect to it. And the Derby is what, as they call it, the blue ribbon. It's the pinnacle of, and everyone gets excited, and then it kind of goes to Toaster. The Toaster is a lot. I mean, I've always said it. It's a lovely, lovely setting. I think there's still issues with the track to a certain extent, at the actual racing. But we, like Ryan said earlier on, you kind of just have to learn to live with it and get on with it, and that's fair enough. But I think for the promotion side, why don't we have head-on cameras? Why don't we give everyone a chance to look at things differently and have opinions? And I think the whole industry's gone down the wrong route of this, media rights stuff, and that's something that again, we're trying to do at Lifford. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what the younger lads think of it, really, because although Ryan said, it's been overdone, it's still good to hear people's opinions, even if it is the same opinion as the majority, because it is frustrating.
I think the thing on top of the camera angle is the finish line as well. They've gated it off so far forward from where obviously all the dogs go in. That's understandable, the kennels are there, but what they potentially could have done is just create another walkway for the dogs, maybe a bit further down on the first bend, brought that a bit longer for the people who are going to be there. And then they could have moved the camera a bit more forward, and then you would have had more of a head-on shot.
It would have been on the line, yeah. And then I think that's quite important, because when you get a funny angle, Ryan, and you say, I think so-and-so's won, and then when they give the result out and it's not what you think, and that's important, is something that was rammed down my throat when Barry Stanton was my general manager. Quite rightly, I'm not criticising. Perception. It's so important. And if you think that something's gone on, they've given out the Bronx. Well, obviously they're not. But if you see it on the line, you've got a better judgment, and people want to be with that swell of, that was a tight finish. I don't really know, but I think so. And then when it goes the other way, you just think, what's going on? And I don't really get why they've, as you say, had a blank canvas and done it that way.
It's very far and few between that they tweet out a photo as well. They don't do it enough, to be fair, especially when it's close. it takes a picture of what they normally do, a picture of the screen just to tweet out a photo, and then that'll kind of, well, I say settle it. People will still think that their dog won, but you know, it'll make it a bit more transparent.
First round of the last man standing here. These entrants, not as sexy as my usual graphics. I just haven't had a lot of time today. But as we can see, majority of the picks probably for 2, which would be the Socks. Decent spread there for Ballymac Slap Up. Carter Bar, few picks. One person's chancing out on Stradina 0. Maybe a bit shrewd. Who's that? Mark Kerr. No one has gone for Chelm's Hamster. Not a single entrant. Farron's Patsy. There's a few in there. So a decent spread. There may be a few who go out at this point. Let's have a look at the race. So, it's interesting to notice this one. There's some decent dogs in it, obviously. Ballymac, did anyone watch Ballymac Slap Up's run at Toaster?
Yeah, trying to kill the poor dog.
It just didn't stay. It did exactly the same time as it did last time it ran at Toaster. It's just pulled the guts out of it. Antigua Socks, obviously very good Romford form, really wants the rail. Carter Bars, perhaps not been trapping as well as recently. Stradina 0, it'd be a shock, I think it's fair to say, if that one. Chelm's Hamster, I think, is open to improve. But it's a little bit more early in this race than it's been contending with, but wouldn't surprise me to see it do well. And Farron Patsy on the outside, it's got 371 sectionals, a 23.92 on the car. Pretty rapid, so a bit of a puzzle to unpick. What do you guys make of it?
I think you have to be siding with Sank on the outside. I don't think Antigua Socks will go smash like it did last week. It's not consistent enough for that. It's more of a 380 mid, like 383, 384 dog. And with Ballymac Slap Up, on its inside, I just don't think you can get the bend. So with 4 moving across in front of 3, I think it made a case for 5 or 6, in my opinion.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same as Rob. I think there's so much pace between 1, 2, and 3. I can just see, especially with 4 coming across, like Rob said, 4's going to come straight across 3. It's desperate for the rouse. I reckon there's going to be bunching at the front, and I think I'll be siding with a 6 just to go around the outside and just pick it up off the first. But they're pretty much laying all of the top 4, to be fair. Yeah,
they are.
They're laying chunks for it. But yeah, I'd side with a 6 here. I just think there's going to be bunching at the first bend between 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. I think you could back 2 and 6 in this.
I was just looking through when I was doing the card, and I was looking at Socks's form in the 2 box, and he's only won once in the 2 box, considering how many times he's run around Romford. He's only run out of the 2 box a couple of times, but every time he's in the 2 box, they seem to be laying it. I remember the last time it was in the 2 box, it opened up at, I think it was 11-8 and went out to 9-4, 5-2, and it fell out the box. So I don't know.
And what about you, PL?
Yeah, I've heard what you said, so I played, but I actually favour 1, but it's all on the break, and I get what Ryan said, because I backed Farron Patsy last week in this sort of race, and Antigua Socks went wallop out of track 4, and Farron Patsy missed it, so a lot of it's all on the start. They're all loaded, they're all locks away. We had small play on 2 and 6. I heard what Tom was saying. Here we go then, hair approaches. And away and racing, and 4 just nudges into 3, leaving the gates, but early pace from Carter Bar, and Derek Knight's charge goes round in front here, ahead of Ballymac Slap Up, who's in second. Then comes Chelm's Hamster in 3rd spot into the 3rd turn, and Carter Bar's in a bit of a hurry here. His 3 ends clear. He's back, Carter Bar, for Derek Knight, still with a big lead as they turn for the judge. The white jacket shining brightly in the sunshine at Romford has won it well. Ballymac Slap Up was second, so we got it all wrong there. Smash, Carter Bar. Actually, got a little bit of a nudge. It was his early pace that kind of took him to the front. Fair play to him, yeah, 'cause he was taking a good line there in front of Slapper.
I can never get Carter Bar right.
I can never get Antigua Socks right.
Yeah.
Carter Bar should have done that last week. He had the better draw last week. He's cheated.
Yeah.
He's done what Socks done. He cheated the other draw.
Yeah.
That's the magic of Romford.
Yeah, no, it's certainly interesting there at times, I must agree. But in them sort of races, you just can't play, can you? That's just, for me, just put a line through it because there's so many ifs and buts. And if you're a regular at Romford, there was a big if above the board.
I remember that before it got demolished, yeah. Yes, that was on the.
For me,
there's
just too many inconsistencies, you know, like pups, and a pup could win in A7 and do 24.30, and get a double or triple or quadruple upgrade for one trainer, and then you go to another trainer that does exactly the same, and you only get an upgrade or a double upgrade. There's just no consistencies there, you know. That's the downside of Romford. In the graded, I see, not in the opens. In the graded, there's just no consistency. And the comments, I mean, Jesus, I think Stevie Wonder could write better comments at times.
Yeah. I was watching some of the videos and comparing them to the comments earlier, and I didn't know if the comments were wrong on the race card or they've got a better view to write the race up than what I could see on the video.
No. The comments are just totally irrelevant to what's actually happened in the race. I think Dave Fredericks made a very, very strong point last week in the graded. The dog in 4 clearly wants to be in 6. Come out, first step was right, took care of the 5 dog, stopped itself, went behind the 6 dog and come round the 6. That's how wide it was. He's come round the 6 dog. He got a middle comment, and then the 5 dog that he bowled got a clear run. Can't make it up.
Yeah.
I think there's a dog running later in the 575 out of the 5 box. I can't remember his name now. Oh, he ran out of 5 last time. I think it's that. It's Wallace's dog. He's running out of 3 tonight, but they put on the card stumbled 6th. And I read. Yeah, that's the one. I watched it about 5 times to see the stumble, and it was the clearest run bend I've probably seen.
Yeah, there's no stumble in that race.
We might as well talk about the 6:58 early. There's a bit to unpack in that race. So it's the first maiden race of the evening. Do you want to talk through your thoughts on it, Ryan?
Yeah, to be fair, I found it difficult to weigh up between the 3 and the 6, to be fair. Headford Lola run on Saturday. I actually backed against her. I think it was Saturday or it might have been Monday. I can't remember, but I backed Troy Suzuki against her. But she, to be fair, pinged off the front, won very well in an A1. But it's something about Droopy's Hustler at the minute. Run very well. There's no split time on the card, but when I was watching the videos, it's about a 380 split. If it does that sort of run again, based on what it got, I think it stays as well. It ran a good race at Hove when it was run behind Crafty Galactico. We know what that dog's all about. So I just think if 6 gets any sort of break, I think it would take all the beating here.
My concern with the 6 is I think there's a bit more pace inside it, and it massively cuts the bend. The first, so my worry was it would go up with the other dogs, get into the first bend, turn left, and just run into almost any of them.
Yeah, I was looking at the 5 to be fair at where that was running, but to be fair, when you looked at the races back at Toaster, it was all over the place. I don't think he knew where he wanted to be, let alone.
No,
and it starts on the rows, then sort of goes middle around the last.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. It kind of.
I've sided with a 6, but Yeah, if the 3 does get off the front though, if it does a similar run to Saturday, I can't see it getting caught. Always Magical is very hit and miss in the 1 box, but if it does get it right, again, that could win. It's a tough race, but yeah.
It is. What do you reckon, Rob?
I thought it was a hard race. I'll be looking at 5. The boys, the Nathan Hunt Racing Club, we was offered this dog in 5 takeover bid. It's good breeding. But it was just up for just far too much money for what he had on its card, and I think he's been bought for good money. So, but the trials at the minute are not sort of resembling what they've paid for. So, they're doing a really good job in covering it up. But the 5 could go smash, and I think 400 will be its max. So it will be all out. But I can't see 6 clearing 5. And the only other dog that was a bet would have been 2 for me. The Lago Flag on debut. Those have been my bets. 2 and 5.
2 and 5. So you're not interested in the 3 then?
No.
What? How come?
Just think it's just drawn wrong. He's got to do everything right again. He's going up. He's just going up that notch from A1 to Maiden company. I just don't, no disrespect to her, Susie Q. She's coming back from, I think it's injury or seasonal rest, and she ain't a 400-metre dog. So most dogs would lead that up. So, he's got a much difficult task 3 tonight to get across, in my opinion. And I actually smashed last on the 7th of May. But if you look previously to that, it's mediocre splits. So, I couldn't be playing. And 4, I don't think it's good enough. And nor 1.
Yeah, one's definitely out of form. Log Hill Flashing 2. It's got a 28.63 around Shelbourne, which is pretty good, but possibly not got the early pace for Romford. I was quite interested in the 3. They are always back a bitch in form. She's running all right at the moment and got the early, but inconsistent, and would have to repeat that last run and not any of the 4 before it. The 4 just a sort of standard Hanlo dog. Takeover bid, I wrote open to improvement. It looks like a dog that would have cost a lot of money, and they're probably trying to work out what to do with it at the moment. And yes, it's really good pitch as the only wide runner, but I was just a bit concerned that it cuts the bend and lacks that little bit of early pace. So, a bit of a mystery. So it's always interesting to look at the prices on a race like this to see if there's anything worth snatching a bit of value.
Especially with a 2 dog. When you've got a dog that's come over from Ireland and it's on first race, always take a bit of interest in the price.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. And it's a big price at the moment. 17 on Matchbook. Are you back with us, PL? Having technical difficulties. I don't know how he's ended up with a Matchbook banner in his house.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the wrong setting.
Easily done. The legend, the man, the legend, Barry Cool. Good evening, lads. Good luck tonight. If you've got any more 20-1 winners for us, Barry, please do let us know. Paul Wings.
1 winners.
Why have 10 when you could have 20?
That's just being
Paul
greedy.
Wings, I see it. Don't want to do anything about it. That's the various issues at Romford. Also said, I have dogs at Romford, but I've had enough now. No more for me.
Right. So I'm back. I'm on the right settings now. Yeah. That's good.
So.
I didn't have it plugged in. I had my charge for my phone plugged in instead. Because obviously through your advice, Tom, I've got my ring light now as well. So
Very good. You'll be making TikToks like me in no time.
yeah, probably.
Making that
TikTok's a bit addictive, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? Because it's all like a lot of that rap stuff, and everyone's lip syncing all the time, aren't they? Stuff like that.
They are, yeah. But we
Some
have
music that I've never heard of.
1,684 views on our first TikTok, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Only one comment saying, "I'll never win at Toaster."
I find Toaster a good hunting ground for me. I normally can do all right there.
Mm-hmm.
I like a Toaster.
Yeah, Derby coming up. The first round of the Derby is my favourite for betting because there's so many dogs with really, really obvious chances around even money that I think it should be a lot shorter. And it happens every year in the particularly the Irish dogs. I was looking at this
year.
Sorry?
Well, there's a lot of tricky heats this year. There's a lot of dogs that are, got two or three matches.
Yeah.
But it's much not as easy, not as good as easy first round as what you first think.
No, that Heat 12 that's got Part Blake, Sing Along Sally, and Warzone Tom in it.
That's what I mean.
That is a tough old race.
You could lose one of the big uns in that race, I think.
You could lose Sing Along Sally easily.
Yeah.
Warzone Tom's always got a smash play in him. Part Blake, I think, is probably the favourite.
Probably with Tom, if you don't lead, chucks it.
I've got to tell you, I think the Sing Along Sally beat him America Limerick.
Yeah.
Mm.
That went a bit quiet then. Barry Core will tell you that as well.
So we've had a bet here. Should we have a little saver on the 2?
As well? Yeah, actually, it is a big price, Tom.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get involved here, I think.
What's the place market like on the 2?
What's 5 at a play?
Let's have a look.
Because one of the boys just mentioned the reason we was looking at 5. This done sub 18 first look Shelbourne 5.
But it's going across as well.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, I'm quite embarrassed to say I made it quite a big price actually, but we'll see.
It's drifted like
I thought 6 was probably a little bit under what I made it, but obviously there's plenty of money for it. But I've had to say, but not to get all the money back. Anyway, this is the Friday night 5 of the Maidens Heat 1 here at Romford. Track 3 Headford Lola is favourite. And away and racing, and she's missed it as 1 breaks smartly from 2 and 4, showing good speed into the turn. And Log Hill Flash will go round in front and has gone well clear down the far side. 4 lengths clear of Earl's Magical, who's in second, just in front of the 4 Damson Lane and Headford Low, who's trying to get back into the contest as they turn for the judge. Log Hill Flash is away and gone from Michelle Brown here, has a big lead and will not be caught. 2 wins it well.
So Ryan, that's a 10-1 winner, and at one point there that was 16-1. You wouldn't mind the double there.
And that's actually again another good example there, Tom, of prices. I made that. I must admit, I made that third in, and half the price that we backed it at. So again, what Ryan said, about you do your tissue and then you kind of bet accordingly. And Lug Hill Flash, we've actually ended up getting a little bit of a profit there, even though we've only had a small bet.
Very good.
I think that's spot on. If you've priced it up at say 6s and you can get a place for free, or 3s or 7-2, I don't know why you wouldn't go in and do the place.
Yeah, no, I must admit I kind of don't bet places. I tend to place lay more than bet places, to be fair, but it's something that, again, I'm probably over twice your age and I'm still learning.
I'm not so much a layer. I'm not so. To be fair, if there's an obvious one that's a short price and I really don't fancy it, then I'll lay it. But I wouldn't be laying too much, to be fair.
I can't get the laying right. Anything I'd lay, it'll win. I can never get it right. I just don't touch it.
Right. Well, this is the shortest ever last man standing.
Over already.
So, Carter Bar, 6:43. Yeah. So we can eliminate PL. Sorry, PL, the railway man. Okay. We can eliminate Alex Powell. We can eliminate Benker, Ben Rendell, Sam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9. We can eliminate Mr. T. Welsh and Will. We can eliminate M. Bonser and Kemick. And then in that race, we were 2, which is just Sportsman. So it's been we'll have to go for 3 dogs in each race next time. But
that's how easy Romford is, yeah.
2 races in, and Sportsman is the last man standing.
Aye.
Very well done. First prize is a £50 free matchbook. If you've got an account, I'll check at the end, and if so, I will pass your account details on to Matchbook, and they'll get you credited. Very, very well done.
Congratulations.
We did the competition at Toaster last, and we wanted to keep it simple because we were there live, and I didn't want to do all the stuff. So we said just pick the winner of the Maiden Derby, and then we'd have a tiebreaker for guessing the time. Quite a few entrants, not a single one picked Hello Faker Fuffle. No one won. Absolutely no one. So we make the competitions more simple, less people can get through. But no, well done there. Anyone had a look at anything at Central Park?
Yeah, I've got a few marks at Central Park.
No, okay. Well, happy to play them, PL.
803, first one. I haven't looked at the prices actually yet, so I'm going to look now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Getting excited. Warren Bond, evening gents, looking forward to the Derby heats. Watch along, get this Romford Lotto out of the way. Yeah, we're looking forward to Derby. Me and PL will be here for every single round of it. I'm wondering whether we do it for the final or if we go, because everyone who's watching is probably going to be going. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I must admit, we both said when the Durando came up, then kind of Matchbook could have sponsored it, and I think they might have done actually, but because it's another bookmaker, it was a no-go from Ben. So, which is understandable, but
yeah, of course it is.
It'd have been nice, but that was the creep into the watch along live on Derby Final night. But you don't know. We could still do it. We could still do it. We'll see.
You got to do it live there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's the room. Obviously, everyone wants to be there. We had a little bit of a corner in the restaurant, Tom, didn't he? It was perfect, actually, in the end. I think he was a bit sceptical about the noise and stuff like that, and it worked out beautiful in the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable. It's good. It's good.
But to be fair, it's a prime bit of real estate on Derby Final night, even a corner in the restaurant. So, Warren Bond, do it live from the ring. We could just put phones, couldn't we? Have a sore arm after racing.
Yeah, that was. I did think, because obviously there's marquees and there's kind of. Yeah. There's a few sort of those bench seats outside, and they'd probably put up a gazebo thing. But then, having said that, then you need the
Wi-Fi,
the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So
dragging internet cable around with us.
Yeah, exactly, and power cables and stuff like that, Tom. So
no, we'll scrap that.
The only thing I did think was, obviously, I think they said originally we could have done it for Kevin's office. Well, that won't be. I don't think that'll be used on Derby Final. So yeah, listen.
Yeah. I'm sure the Bubby Club will use their tent, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just do a racing blogger and go there with a 15-foot selfie stick or whatever he uses when he goes around the track.
No, it's just the arm, and you got to use the angle.
That's it.
He says, isn't it? You have to hold it in a certain angle.
Yeah. He's got all these fingers around it, and all. He's got all this going on, hasn't he? Yeah.
To be fair, we could do with someone like him in the sport. He gets a lot of stick, but he's very good.
100%.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing, and he's gone to Aidan O'Brien's and been welcomed with open arms. It's probably no different to Julie Collier going to the different kennels. So so we need all that sort of stuff. I think
it is a very accessible sport. If someone had a go at it, I think they'd do really well.
Do you know as well? Obviously, it's good that we've got Rob on tonight and Ryan, because I kind of do champion youngsters getting into the sport, because that is the future of the sport. So I love to see all that, and I think I'm a big fan of Emma Buckley, and through Emma, I've kind of got quite pally with her father Pat as well, and I did text him when I saw his dogs were when they ran at Tralee, and I said, "Cool, you've got some squad of dogs," and he said it's the best team he's had for a long while. And that's what things what we need. And I went, actually, just because I knew we were doing watch along, we went, me and Lorraine went to Toaster on Tuesday, because they were trying on Tuesday. So I was chatting to Pat, and I love colour pictures. I'm a massive fan of Banner Red, massive fan of him. I think it's a really quick dog. And he turned around and he said, "Why don't you come to the kennels?" And I'm going to take you up on that. I will go to the kennels. Now, it's not the same. I'm not a good-looking racing blogger or something like that, but I think all that sort of content. And I did an interview with him and Emma as well. They both did it willingly in the lead up to the Derby and that. And that's the sort of thing that we do need, because it's just that little bit different, isn't it? That's the thing. It's just different. And I think the fact that we do this, people chat and they sort of tell you little snippets, and I think it's good. It's good.
Yeah. The behind the scenes stuff is really good. It is really interesting. I got a kennel hand license with Carol Weatherall to just be nosy, really, and go into the kennels and stuff. And it's great. It's really good seeing the other side of the sport. But what I like about this sport is it is very accessible.
Yeah.
Like, the other night we were discussing one of Nathan's dogs and we couldn't get the measure of it. I just Nathan said, "Do you think the dog will win?" Yeah, I think it will. It did win. But what other sport could you have that sort of access to stuff? And everyone's very inviting, and it is quite a small sport, quite a small circle of people.
Yeah, it is. I think that's what even the lads. Obviously, Rob, you've been at Romford as well, Tom. Not even the lads here that have been at Romford. It is you do. So when you go to a track, you do get that little bit of a community spirit in a way, I think.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's just getting, like you said, it's just getting smaller and smaller as the years go on. Even from when they switched the track over on the terraces on the other side, there'd be near on 50 to 100 people there, and everyone will be talking, having a beer. Everyone will be on the same dog, or it's just similar to that. So it'll be more of like a drink up, but everyone knew their dog, so everyone would be on, and then there'd be a lot of camaraderie between you and the bookies. So there'll be a lot of back and forth. You've still got that, but because it's very minimal now, and you'll get a couple going over on a Friday and a couple not, and stuff like that, it's changed massively. It has. Yeah,
the last few times I've been, that core of the heavy punters and stuff doesn't seem to be there anymore.
No, definitely not.
Are they on Betfair or are there other tracks, do you reckon?
Probably say they're on Betfair.
Yeah. Is the fella who wears the iPad around his neck still there? He's an old guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like a chain around his neck with an iPad on it, probably to snipe a bit of value.
Oh no, I haven't seen him in ages. To be fair, he was at most of the graded meetings. He was there on a Friday, but I used to see him a lot of graded. But I've not seen him.
I think little fella.
No, big fella. I know you mean.
He used to sit at a table with Maggie Lucas quite a bit, and the kennel hands there in the old stands underneath where the old fast food bit was, and they used to sit in there quite a bit. But I've not seen him in a while.
Graham, isn't it? It's Graham.
Graham, that's him. Correct.
I heard he got jumped or he got mugged or something coming out. I think someone
they steal his iPad.
Well, else he thought he was carrying a load of reddies.
Yeah. Probably the worst man to mug in the the entire place.
Hand over your electronic money.
Yeah. Translate into Bitcoin. Ben Green, youth can't get involved in the UK and Ireland. Kids parading dogs, having kennels in the UK, and I'm like, yeah, that is a shame. It's great when you see it. Yeah, even it's kids with their dads and stuff, just parading the dogs to the traps and things. You know, proper little youngsters. It's really good. But there's a bit more of a kind of family community spirit in Ireland, I find, when I go over there.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's like it's a way of life. I mean, that's the thing. I kind of get that with sort of Pat and Emma and Jack and the whole family. Really, I think when you're in it, and you know, you're right. What Rob's doing now, I suppose. When I was young, I did that sort of thing, and when Lorraine was training, and I had a kennel license, I didn't know what I was doing. I just did what I was told, you know, and it's a great thrill. I was talking to Ray Bourne on Tuesday night. Ray's daughter helps out at Nathan's Kennels. Is that right, Rob?
Yeah, she works.
Yeah, and he says, I think he said he took the dogs to Craven. And I knew Ray from when I first started going to Rye House back in the probably 80s, late 80s, 90s, and I was assistant race manager there for about a year and a half, and I got a kennel license with my ex-wife, and that's what started. It's just a thrill. It's a great thrill. And like Tom says, you kind of get a different view of the sport then, didn't you? Because
definitely,
yeah, it's just great to see. I mean, we've got three indoors here now, and it's just incredible. They just give you so much pleasure, really. They've all got their own characters.
Parading your first winner either.
Stop. Actually, the first time I put a dog in their traps was a sprint at Rye House, and Kim, my ex-wife, she actually, I only just met her then, and she went on holiday with her brother and a couple of her pals and that. And I stayed back with her mum, who had the license at the time, and I'll never forget him. Craganock Snow, he was called a white sprinting dog, and he'd never won a race. And I put him in the boxes, and he won. You go and pick him up at the drop, and it's just a great thrill. Really, really great thrill.
It's good, especially if you can parade one of your own as well. That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I was with Lorraine, I took a dog to Monmore Green on my own. I was as nervous as anything. You know, he was in the final. She took him for the heats, and I took him to Monmore for the sprint final. Perry Sango, he was awesome, fast dog, and lovely light blue brindle dog, and he won as well. I was like getting the trophy, shaking. It was just great thrill, you know. Because I used to say, Robbie, it makes it that little bit more special, I suppose, when you're handling yourself, and especially if you're on your own. Yeah. It's quite a responsibility, isn't it? So.
It is, yeah. It's big pressure.
Yeah. Warren Bond here. Watch along at Toaster was great. Thought the chats with owners and trainers was much more natural and relaxed due to PL asking the questions and the respect he has in the sport. Rab was great. Rab is great. He's just infectious.
Yeah, he was brilliant. There was some great. That is a good point actually, and I actually agree with that. I think even Kevin Boone, for one, he said quite a lot of stuff, Tom, to us that he said, I wouldn't tell the racing post TV. Because I think you're right. I think he was quite relaxed, and it was good. No, all of the guests were, apart from Tricky, I suppose, but all of the guests were great.
Tricky he was in space.
He was hammered, absolutely hammered. He was. Yeah.
He fell asleep in a lift, didn't he?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
He was in the right state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless him.
PM Ray Bourne was left young for Nathan Hunt Racing. Was Ray poached for his betting skill and racing knowledge?
To be fair, as I say, I knew Ray from when I was at Rye House. His whole family, because he probably, I know he's got a wife called Ray, RAE, and she used to stand on the stool at Rye House. So that takes some bottle to do that, some skill as well. I was thinking about that. I've thought about that the last few kind of days and weeks, really, because one of Tricky's mates, Dave Johnson, he's a bookmaker as well. And I kind of think it is an art. You think like like Ryan was saying, you do your tissue, Ryan, and you think you've got it, but you could get. I would imagine you could get stuck with one and panic. Do you know what I mean? And do it completely wrong. It's I would say there's a massive art to bookmaking, and Ray's been in the game a long way. He used to do the tissue for Powers, to be fair, and again he's a bit like you, Ryan, where he prices up races and stuff like that. And I think it's. I do it, and I do it. It kind of comes. It becomes second nature in the end, and people will watch you and go, "Wow, what are you doing there?" And it's like, "Have you got any tips?" Well, no, I'm giving you the tip. Do you know what I mean? Because I believe in my prices, and I know Ray's the same. Right. Ray's a confident guy, and he's been in the game years, so fair play to him.
We've got a Barry Cool alert. Barry Cool. I've had a few quid on Sparrowhawk, trapped 2 at 30 in the 718, giving away plenty of experience, but think I'll end up much better than he's shown so far. I've snuck a little fiver on in the background as a result of Barry, because we've learned you ignore Barry at your peril, especially on the big prices.
And have you bet our place? Should do that, right? Oh, look at that.
10 for a place.
Get a bit on. And I wrote no chance next to Sparrowhawk when I was doing the card.
But you've learned that.
I've learned, yeah. Sheelon Bolt going through the grades, hoped a bit of improvement. Sparrowhawk doesn't look like it's done a lot, but we shall see what Barry says. Plaza Big Fella faded massively last week. Reasonable Henlow form, but that's about it. 19 red. I think it would be a real surprise to see that win. Swift Q, big improvement in the last run. If it's just clicked for him, it's a huge improvement in terms of the times. So if it's a dog where it's suddenly clicked, then maybe come back here. There is room for improvement. Bang on Harry, I really like. I like dogs like Bang on Harry, who are just really game sorts and can have a good go even when not leading, etc. So I favoured Bang on Harry slightly, but again quite a tricky race. What do you make of it, Rob?
Bang on Harry's my nap tonight. Went back to Swift Q when it ran at Romford back in March, and from 4 he stepped left. So I just think Harry, with a level break, I think Harry get all the room in the world, and 3 will be moving right. So I just thought there was going to be a big sandwich. I know Nathan really likes his dog Harry. It's a good litter. The little brothers Prozac. With the grades nicely as well. Showed good early. He's won a maiden. So I just think this was just made for Harry tonight.
Okay.
And all loaded. There's a big shout out actually to Plaza Big Fella, who's Jack Costello. He was an owner with Lynn Cook when we were there as well. And I knew the trainer. Rates lift and off and race a fairly level line leaving the boxes, and it is 3 and 6 that go into the turn. 1 sneaks up on the inside, and Shell and Boat goes down. Courtesy the draw for Gene Lars. Has a 3-leg straight at the halfway stage in front of Plaza Big Fella, showing good middle gears. And then in behind these comes the 2 and the 4. Sparrowhawk trying to stay on as they turn for the judge. It's the red Shell and Boat who's got to go on to score nicely in the end. 1 beats 3, 4 back in third. Plaza Big Fella run a good race there, the youngster.
That looks like an oi.
Yes. Shell and Bolt. I made that favourite. I did some of my tissues last night. I made that favourite, and I've got to tell you, kind of just one on the draw really, because I think 3 was a little bit unlucky there because he showed slightly better pace than 1, but wasn't quite enough to clear red. Show good speed there, Plaza Big Fella.
Yeah, that was good. 3 ran a lot stronger than I thought it would, having seen what it did last week. Don't know if there was something amiss with it last week.
To be fair, 3 was my selection in the race. Yeah, only because I was looking back through the form. Don't get me wrong, the last 2 runs at Romford were pretty shocking. But looking back through the form, when it's done a 27.74 at Henlow, that probably equates to about a 24.30 at Romford, maybe a 24.25.
Yeah.
And with the early that it had, I thought it could go around in front, but obviously one a draw and one's in terrific form at the minute, so you can't take it away from him. But yeah, I was more on the free to get round and try and pull off the front, because I thought it was pretty weak open, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. A few of the lads in the chat are saying about trap 5 where it's qualified. It looked like it was having a go on the line. I'm just going to rewind it and have a look. I've got to remember to fast forward it at the end though, so I always end up miles behind and can't work out what's going on.
It definitely looks like he's having a look to me in the running.
So yeah, it's massively. Yeah.
The commentator had his eyes on the red.
Yeah. It's hot, yeah. Especially when you got the burden of money on it as well. Yeah, 5's right. I'll go there.
What crowd running?
The 5's tried to eat.
No.
Yeah, probably. Back the through on the nose well, close nose cigar, indeed.
Yeah, well.
I'd have a fight with trap 6 early on. We shall see. Bit of iPad update from Go Wide, Go Wide. The bloke with the iPad was getting 30k a year plus out the ring at Romford. Definitely not an idiot.
No, yeah, I think he was doing a bit of trading and stuff like that. So yeah, no, Graham's all right. No, he's not. He won there. Yeah, he was an army.
Yeah.
I think actually as well, when it went at one stage, that was just before I kind of stopped going racing there. I think the books went to win £100 only or something like that. They just bags meeting. They just got fed up with it already.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it on a Friday night.
So again,
I said they're tempted to do that on a Friday night.
Right.
They won't lay the biggest of bets there, to be honest. I mean, Roger does, but the rest of them, no opinion of whatsoever. We watched last week. A dog went from 5 to 1 into 2 to 1. And they didn't take a bet. Criminal.
I think that's just following the machine price.
Yeah, just following the machine.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
You got any fancies for the derby, Rob?
Played a couple. Thought Fast Fit Paddy, very impressive in a trial. We done like a sub 4:10 sectional out of track 1, which is unheard of. Run the track really, really well, but I can only come on for the improvement. I really like the Bocco's Bud Sit. I think he's a really nice early pace dog, and I think he can keep getting his draw, and he'll go a long, long way. I've got myself, Pat Huckle and Andy. We've got a runner in the derby, Lemon Biticus, so it'd be interesting.
Got in. I was shocked to see he was omitted, to be fair.
Tell me about
And there's much bigger price ones than him that are in it.
It was just, strange decision. But anyway, he's in now, so he'll take his chance. He's got drawn a fairly one of the easier heats. I mean, it's a derby, nothing's easy, but he's in one of the easier heats.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're look forward to seeing that. I actually missed the first round load of derby. I'm flying to Dublin. I've got I have a bitch in the first round of the Oaks over there.
Right,
so
fair play.
on Friday or Saturday night.
They'll have it on there. They have RPG TV on all the TVs. Was there any Irish dogs that didn't get in? I don't think there were. It wasn't a very big reserve list, but I can't think of any.
And a few of the Irish dogs are actually English with English trainers as well now, aren't they?
Yeah.
A few that have come over. Well, Fast Fit Paddy's with an English trainer now.
Yeah. So these are the prices. Pot Blake, favourite. Worthy favourite, do you think?
Not on last week, not on 2 weeks ago run. I would have definitely not said he tied up massively. But Fawn Falcon, defending champion, always there's so many rows. He's always gonna get his draw, isn't he? Just starting to come back.
Ballinbola Ed's an obvious one. Sign at Ace, Romeo Majiko, Sing Along Sally.
I mean,
There's I'd say there's less big names this year. Well, kind of established grey. There's a lot of new sort of coming through greyhounds.
I'd say there's an interesting dog running there. That's really overpriced in my eyes, and that's the Bold Freddy. That's little brother to Dealish Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
He's changed hands a couple of times, but he's with Cronin now. I think Cronin, you get a tune out of him. I think it's 100 to 1. I think he can go well.
I'll be looking more towards the outside, just purely because of how many railers and middles there are. You know they're always going to get their draw. So if you've got a strong running dog on the outside, your Beach Avenues, your Priceless Jets, they're always going to get a run. So if they do get any sort of run, then as it goes later on through the round, you're going to get railers that are more going to be relying on the draw. So you might have a complete railer that wants one. You might have that out in 4 or 5. So you know that the 6 is going to have an absolute solo going up. So
Yeah.
I'll start picking some of them out, because I think I've seen some of them at a few big prices as well. So
Yeah,
even just
I
have
think
a couple of
that's
quid at big prices. Yeah.
Yeah. There aren't many wides, are there?
Not. I think it was 32 that had been declared.
Yeah.
31, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, 31, 32, there's 32 each, yeah. So, yeah.
What do we make on the decision on that Lorato getting seeded rails?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Specsavers job, that
It's
one.
just wrong, isn't it?
No, I don't really get that. Only because, obviously, just what Ryan said, there's 31 wires and probably could get 5 and don't really want 5. But, you know, I had a big, long, I was obviously doing the Derby Comes last year, and I had a massive, long conversation. He wouldn't leave me alone, Paul Illingworth, to be fair. Look, you know, it's only because his family actually were part of Crayford when I was there. He was a parader when I was at race manager at Crayford. He's ended up being the chief staff Henry Stewart at the GBGB, and he was kind of interested in what I had to say about the seeding issues, and they asked me to be on the seeding committee, was it the seeding panel or something like that? But I've got to tell you, I had about 17 different. I had 17 changes, and Andy turned around to me and said, "You can't make 17 changes," and for whatever reason, I made about 5. But I didn't really have a lot of say in it, so it was a pretty pointless exercise. But
Why couldn't you have the changes?
Well, exactly. So that was my point, Robin. I kind of ended up. I always say to my kids, tell people, I never burn bridges, and I put the phone down on him, but it never fell out with him. Just didn't agree. Just didn't agree with it, and the fact that I've been a racing manager for 10 years, and I would consider myself a decent racing manager, that my sound's not very good, Tom's telling me. I just think that there should be more care taken to, and that's what I mentioned earlier on, that Derby Lanes thing. They've asked me to do the Derby Lanes, so obviously people realise that I do know what I'm looking at when dogs go to certain things, and kind of the likes of Rob and Ryan and kind of back that up, because when you betting professionally, you need to know that. So all this, I put a thing on Twitter yesterday. What's the difference between rails to middle and middle to rails? I just don't know, and that's why I spoke to Paul Illingworth, and I said, why don't you use Gary Noble's suggestion of having ideal boxes? So what's the ideal box? And there's counter claims to that as well, but I think if you utilise, say someone, I said to him, say you have got a panel of 5 people, say like, for instance, Dave Clark watches videos, or Tony Bullen, they're fairly independent in that they work with the Racing Post, so that's their job. So why don't you get a panel of people to say, this dog ideally wants to be there? Because if you said to Patrick, where does Lataro want to be? He wouldn't say track 1. He'd say track 3, probably 3 or 4. 3, probably. He wants to be in 3. So why are we giving him a chance to be in track 1? And the likes of Sing Along Sally in trap 4 as she is, but it's wrong. And you know, like we had that with Dear Jet Sydney. He wants one, worst ways 2, but he can end up in 4. And the likes of Lataro, he seeded rails the same as Sing Along Sally this year, and they want completely different boxes. And we had it with Forest Gold and Sign It Ace, and even with Kevin, you know. And again, I've got loads of respect for Kevin, but that is tactical seeding. And in my opinion, I said I'm not falling out with anyone. It's just that's my opinion. Andy Lismore didn't have the bollocks to say no, and he hasn't obviously with Patrick. I got really well with Patrick. Really, really well with Patrick. I respect him till the end of the earth. But yeah, you're right, Ryan. That's a poor decision, really.
The thing that I would say is, how far along the run up before you move off or before you move in would it need to be before you class it a rouse to middle or a middle to rouse? If that makes sense. Because you're gonna spend hours watching videos back or the rounds through to see how far up the run up. Are they gonna have a stop point and say, right, it's moved in here, we're gonna do?
But the thing is, with every single dog, I mean, you don't need me to educate you, but as you know, there are certain dogs that you can put in trap 1 and they'll stay straight, and you can put them in trap 4 and they'll stay straight. So every dog has to be considered on its merit. So it's every dog. Again, we mentioned that earlier on. Every dog is individual. So you can't just say it's never an A plus B equals C. It's never that. So therefore, take it out of the hands of the trainer and do it through people that have got an independent view and an independent opinion to say this dog's ideal box. And you'll get the likes of, like, I'll give this to Lorraine a couple of days ago. Tom, we did that Limerick final. Park Blake was in 1 and Sing Along Sally was in 2. And they want to be rails. And you say, yes, they want to be senior rails. They've ended up, because of the likes of Lataro, who luckily for us got 4 for the purists, but they've ended up, Park Blake's in 3 and Sally is in 4. Now, you could, I would say they want to be trap 1s, the pair of them. Put them trap, and Graham would say, he probably wants to be 2, but Graham would say, there ain't many people that say ideal, what's your ideal box to trap 2? They won't say that. But there'll be a lot of 1s and there'll be a few 3s and 4s, there might be 5s and 6s or whatever. So on a given draw, Park Blake might get 1 and Sing Along Sally get 2, and then in a different draw, Sing Along Sally will get 1 and Park Blake will get 2. No one's really going to moan that Sing Along Sally, what you see at Limerick, is going to be drawn 2. But why is she going to be drawn 4 and Lataro drawn 1? It's wrong.
It is wrong. Of course it's wrong. It's completely wrong. Anyone can say it.
And this current system allows that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's talk about this race. Sorry, we'll do this one, then we'll come back to that if that's all right. How do you read this one, Ryan?
I thought there was a massive price here in the 6 dog. I know obviously there's a lot of pace on the inside, don't get me wrong. But last running, to be fair, before it started coming over the sprint trip, when they added the sprints back over the opens, and it was in the A1/A2s, I thought it was a 300 dog. It'd fade off the last bend, wouldn't do much. It would be treading water coming home. But its last race that it run, both in, I think it was against Nitro Hero, it run very well to even get as close as what it did. And I think with a ping, I do fancy just to go around the outside. There might be a little bit of trouble on the inside, but I think at, what is it now? 8s. I think that's massive. That's massive.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Actually, we spoke about this earlier on, and I think the early is 1, 3, 4, and 6, and Tom said, yeah, but at the price I'll be against Sonic MJ, and that's fair enough. So what we've ended up doing here, we bet 1, 3, and 6. Only for small, but King Cora Beauty kind of went off at massive prices, but she can ping, and a lot of these 225s are really only on the break. That's all they are. It's on the starting ability.
Yeah. How do you read it, Rob?
I like 4.
You do?
Yeah, 4's the fastest in the race by a country mile. Just his trappings let it down last couple.
That's it. Yeah, it's 2 races in a row, isn't it?
This missed a break last week and absolutely roared to the bend. And it just, to be fair, if he'd have got round, I reckon it would have run the winner close, even from how far behind it was. it showed serious gears. 2, I mean, the only 2 isn't a sprinter.
That's literally my note there. Says not a sprinter. Yeah, completely agree with that. And that's why I quite like the one on the draw inside of the dog that isn't a sprinter. It's going to have the rails to itself, which in a sprint race is pretty valuable around Romford.
The one got hammered in last week as well, didn't it? And just got kind of squashed up on the first bend.
Yeah.
So I like the one box over there.
You do?
I don't.
You don't?
No, you need to be off the fence, I think, over that side.
Yeah, I think you could be right. I mean, have you played here, Rob?
4.
You played, yeah?
Yeah, 4, 9 to 4.
Well, we've got most of the field covered between us.
So yeah, I see where Ryan was coming from with the Nitro Hero race, but I think the Nitro Hero is a bit of a kidder. I think if he gets to the front, I think he likes to wait for someone to play high.
Yeah. He likes something to chase, doesn't he? Yeah.
If he's in,
all loaded. Foster a Greyhound Sprint, £300. The winner 225. Pair approaches. Lids rising off and racing 1, 2, and 4, breaking the line. 3 sandwiched in between, and 5 and 6 have missed the kick, and 4 Sonic MJ has got to the front, courtesy the best early speed for John Mullins, and goes 2 lengths clear of Bodo Frankie in second. In behind these comes Fire High Joey, and up towards the line. Pretty simple stuff. You're right, broke level and had the best early. Sonic MJ for Rob Howe. That's why we have these guests, Tom.
It is, fair play. Yeah. We learn towards the end, don't we? Lose faith in our own system and just go, what do you want? Fair play, Rob. Read that absolutely spot on.
Yeah, spot on.
Cheers, gents.
Came out strong, and it came out well, but still reasonably level. But he's just absolutely roared up, hasn't he?
His pace last week was frightening in behind. I didn't. At one point, I didn't think he was going that far. I didn't think he was going to run the bend. I thought he could end up in the pavilion. He was going that fast. His pace. And he probably don't live would be even faster. It don't give it no justice on that telly.
It does feel a bit like following a dog over a cliff when you keep backing them though, and they keep missing it, and you know they're capable, and it just gets. Yeah, I backed him the other week, and
I backed him.
It gets to the point where you think I can't keep backing this dog.
You've got to have faith.
Faith makes the poorhouse. Right, I'm going to get my first beverage of the evening.
He showed very good speed at Newcastle, but obviously just not getting home. I think Romford's perfect for him. He can do it both ways as well. The 400 is just as good.
Have you backed anything early in the Derby pool?
Yeah, the first bet I struck actually was Bocco's Belly, the 80s. Only really that was kind of I did an interview with Patrick Janssens for this channel, and we were talking about obviously the Shadow dog, and I was a bit sceptical about Shadow being ready to be a Derby winner. And Patrick was singing the praise of Lataro and obviously Thorn Falcon, and he said off air afterwards, he said, "Look, I'm not going to." He knows I'm a punter. He said, "I'm not going to tell you how to punt." He said, "But Bocco's Belly can't be 80-1." And actually, I think the Sky Bet were going 90s at the time, but I couldn't get on with them, so I ended up getting a bit of 80s just as a starting point for the Derby. And again, he's probably one of the qualifiers, and because I was commentating last year and I used to go in Kevin's box afterwards, I had some really sort of sound and good conversations with Bev and Graham. Yeah, so it was it was good to see them. They're great. They're great. Sort of advocates of the sport and love it to bits. They've got a pub in London somewhere, and always. Yeah, they're always good. Obviously,
right next to the ground, right next to Sellers Park, their pub.
Yeah, that's it. And and obviously he got dogs with Patrick and with
Holland.
Graham Holland. So yeah, yes. So I suppose there's a bit of a was it heart more than a head as well. But I did have a few with him last year, so I thought, well, and the fact that he's had the Tavai and got him back from a broken shoulder to. He just said that he thought he got him back to there was no difference in him. So Thorn Falcon was sort of, I think, 20s or 25s, and he was 80s, and there was nothing between them. So it was just a value bet to start. As I told you, I'm a big fan of Bannable Red, so I backed him. A little bit on Scotty Yank, and I've had a little bit on Sing Along Sally, so that kind of tells you there's a bit of an allegiance to Buckley as well. So I don't know whether that's more my head or what I've heard, and I've actually had a little bit on Kildare as well. And I saw actually a bit on Twitter, Matt Newman, he was writing for the Racing Post. He's in the Blue Tick Syndicate, and he's now moved to Bet Connect. And he's stuck up Kildare as well. So yeah, he looks a quick dog. And again, I saw the interview that Julie did with Mikey, Peter Cronin's son, and they always seem to get a dog near to the Derby farms, don't they? They do really, really well with their dogs. So yeah, so that they're the kind of dogs that I've made the. Oh, I've had just a little bit in the win market on Romeo Majiko as well, because I think he's a quick dog. He might be a little bit quirky, but he's quick. So yeah, that was my starting point, and probably that's 5 or 6 dogs really. But I tried.
Do you think now is the time to be getting?
Yeah, I try not to go too soon, Tom. Generally, but it was one of those where I see the prices and I just think that's wrong, and it's a bit. Ryan will probably back me up in that. When you do your prices for for whatever race for a card, if you think it's a wrong, then you're kind of itching to take the early price, and I think that's the thing. And I'll get to the first round, and after the first round, I'll probably go, "What have I done?" But let's hope I don't.
And there was a couple of dogs in there that were just like ridiculously priced. But that was the Emily's Jet. I think 300 to 1. I mean, what was that? That got cut. I mean, everyone was punting that, and the other one that trialled on, was it Wednesday or Thursday? Hoodoo Brown.
Oh yeah, actually Harry Finley told me about. I think he's had a little bit on him at hundreds. Yeah, so that's Liam Downie's dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I actually meant to go and look at him, and I haven't. So again, I did the card for this tonight. I do Doncaster Grady, so I've done most of Saturday's card for tomorrow, and I've got Sundays as well, and then I'll have Mondays at Doncaster. But I've run the 3 Derby cards off, and it's mental this time of year, absolutely mental. And the thing is, I think actually the bookies are priced up the first night as well already, and I don't want to look because I don't want it to influence. But all the value numbers will probably already be around if they've already looked. So.
Do you still do Crayford on a Saturday, Paul?
I only briefly look. A pal of mine does Crayford, and sometimes he just race by race might tell me what he's done, and I join in. So, but as I say, it's quite this time of year for me is so intense. It's that's what we love. That's why we're here, really. And I do love the Derby. It's just that I think I put all the effort into doing it, and afterwards, when the traps open, I think, what? How did that happen? So I think really I should be. I've not gone mad, and I'm not a big punter by any means. I'm not a big punter, but I've had a little bit of a go. But I say I'm not a massive punter anyway. But
controversial comment in the chat here. Thorn Falcon, can it be called a true Derby champion, seeing it can't run anywhere else? Well, it is undeniably the Derby champion, having won the Derby. But yeah, it's not done anywhere else. But do that many of them? Not necessarily.
You're right, Tom. That is controversial because he's won the Derby, and you don't win the Derby in a fluke.
Yeah.
And he's an ideal dog. He's a horses for courses dog, and I don't think you can take that away from him. So I don't think that's, there's only one Derby, and he runs Toaster, and you'll get loads of dogs that are fast elsewhere, and they won't run Toaster. So that's unfortunate. But I don't think you can crab Dawn Falcon just because he doesn't really run anywhere, and Patrick hasn't really taken him anywhere else. And Patrick always said that dog, the more he runs Toaster, the faster he goes. So,
To be fair, in my opinion, I think when you've got a dog, like when they got Thorn Falcon and you know that it's a Derby dog, I think you're going to run it. He ran it as he did at the Derby. It done what he needed to do. And then after, you let have a rest, and then you think, what are we going to do next?
Let's go for next year's Derby.
Yeah, let's go. Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna place it.
Totally
you're gonna
agree
place
with
it where you need to place it. You're not just gonna go, right, we're gonna throw it around Crayford on a Saturday. We're gonna bring it to somewhere else next week.
Yeah.
It's not that type of dog. So you're gonna rest it up, see what it's all about, see what competitions you can gradually put it back to. And I think, well, I read the Star Sports column earlier. I think that one of the comments were that Thorn Falcon is where it needs to be at this moment in time in the Derby, because you don't want it to be at its peak right now. You want it to be going through the ground. So I think that would be unfair to kind of say that comment personally. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, and yeah, you can say
100%.
he's a one-trick pony, but he's a Derby winning one-trick pony.
You said, yeah, I see you up here.
Yeah, but
Not sure what's happened there. I'll put everyone back on.
and I don't. I think there's only one to see, and this is the thing. This is the thing that's something that I've learned. My missus is sitting here, and when you can train a greyhound, you can train a greyhound, and you don't just you're spot on, Ryan, for a young lad. You are spot on. You don't go here, there, and everywhere, putting the miles on the clock with a Derby dog, because that you only need you need the five runs. You only need the one run. You need to get him qualified. You need to get the one run in the final. That's what you need, and that's the art of really, really, really top class trainers. And then for the rest of the year, you'll just pick and choose, and he won't have too many runs. Because there's the Irish Derby, there used to be the Scottish Derby, and then there's the Derby again next year. So yeah, I don't think you have to go here, there, and everywhere to prove that you're a champion. That's my opinion.
Totally, you track, and that's the good bit about the trainers. They place their dogs. You place your dogs where the dogs run best. If the dog don't run another track, then you ain't going to take it for the sake of it, are you?
And you don't just shake it for the sake of it. Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
If the dog only runs Toaster, let him run Toaster. Simple as that, isn't it?
And it's not the easiest track to run, but Thorn Falcon runs it perfectly. And again, that's Patrick's art is.
But it is a bit like it comes from in a school, didn't it? And Toaster is a bit like that, I suppose, isn't it? In the same sort of track, really. Quite both tough tracks to get. Same, long straights.
Yeah, I think what I was going to say, Rob, I think Patrick's got the ability to kind of take two steps back and think outside the box. So he puts a lot of thought into what he's doing. So he can see what's right and what's wrong, apart from Latara, of course. But everyone has their opinion. Like I say, everyone's got their opinions. And, I don't know, maybe if he does get drawn one, we'll see if he stays straight. Because, as I mentioned talking to Ryan earlier on, there are some dogs that do that. Now, I don't know. I've never really seen him in track one to make a comment. But in that respect, my gut feeling says I don't think that's right. But in general terms, Patrick is no idiot when it comes to placing dogs and knowing what to do to get the best out of his dog. So,
yeah, absolutely. Lee Fairburn, just back from the Boozer. Have I missed a Romford Judges best bet, Rob? Well,
yes.
Give us some big price ones. Let's have a chat about this race. I sniped a bit of the price on Wentworth, but we'll come on to that. What do you fancy, Ryan?
I can't get away from Antigua Princess. To be fair, I was going to wait for Rob to see what he thought about Bluey in the one first, but
Bluey's an interesting dog, isn't it? 'Cause it was up for
yeah,
sale on Greyhound Data. I had a real good look at it. Did 28.74 around Kilkenny on debut, which should be a lead.
I just think Antigua
Just
Princess
raw.
has got a lot less pace on his inside and outside, and the three will probably move in a little bit, so it might have a bit more room to go around in front because it worked hard to get to the front last week. So I'd be on Princess. There's no price about it, but it depends what Nathan's been doing with Antigua Blue, I suppose.
What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, the dog's in good order. As I say, we purchased him from Nick Gill. As he up and down, we thought for the price he just seemed too good a dog just to let pass. So give him a couple of runs at Toaster. Just tracks well, just lacks that yard of pace to the bend. So we thought, we'll take him back to Romford. And last week he proved, he's more than capable. And I think he's drawn well again tonight. Getting his head in front last week should have done him a world of good. And if he comes away, I don't think there's a dog in a race that could back run him if he did lead. Nathan's other dog and my friend Bobby's dog, Dapper Dinnan in six. Again, if he leads, there ain't a dog in a race that can back run him either. So it's going to be an interesting race. Antigua Princess, she ran well last week, but I mean, no disrespect to the other two dogs. She went past two non-stayers. So, it looked a nice run, but no disrespect to the other, to the dogs. There were non-stayers in front, and then Rixie Flyer, missed it and got caught up in the traffic and just couldn't get close enough. And he's a fast dog once he gets loose. So, made it an interesting race. But yeah, we'll be going with Bluey tonight. Following from where he left off last week.
Yeah, it's nice to him finally get a win. Because when I was looking at him, I went back through all his form because I was genuinely considering buying him when he was for sale. And he had a bad fall in Ireland, didn't he? In one of his races, and then just didn't quite get back to the level he was at before that. And you wonder if that sort of leaves a bit of a mark on the dog. But he's doing well.
Yeah,
it's good to get that win.
I mean, you say about photo finishes and stuff like that. He, in that first round of the Maiden Derby, I thought he won comfortably. And then you look at the photo and, it was embarrassing what photo they put up. You couldn't even see the dogs. That's how bad it was. And then they give it to track 6. But, he's coming forward with every run with us. So we're more than pleased with him. And a lot of credit to Nathan because he has put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes, and you can see from his results that I think he's on 40 odd open winners already this year. We're not even.
He's having a great year, isn't he?
They've set a challenge. We're 100 open winners this year, and he's more than on target to get that. We're only in May, and he's already nearly halfway there anyway. So. No, fair play to Nathan. A lot of time for him, and he's doing really well. And he looks after us and the boys. Yeah,
absolutely. PL, how do you read the race?
I think Antigua Princess is class. I just think she's if she gets any kind of start here, she'll win. So. She's
coming at a quite attractive price now.
Yeah, she's weak in the market. She is, yeah.
I think it opened up at 8 to 11 this morning.
Had a bit of a we got a bit of a nosebleed really because that's come back in. We backed Weymouth and Place as well, Tom, because we did say we'd do that earlier on. So
we did. Yeah,
9 to 2, 5 to 2 for Bluey. A lot of money for him.
Yeah. So and we discussed Bluey. Good dog, probably going to improve now. It's got its nose in front. The thing that interested me on Wentworth was that line of form on the 29th of April, where got beaten by Droopy's Garden, who did 35 dead, which is a very quick time. He did 35.54. Droopy's Garden was inside him and did 13.71, which is a similar time to what I expect Antigua Bluey to do here. And I thought if he got a reasonably level break, he might turn in front of the one. Obviously, any moment now, he's a sort of 35, 85 dog. You wouldn't expect him to win in this. Massive ego, isn't particularly in form. Dapper Dinnan on the outside, I don't think is beyond the realms of winning this. 1372 sectional, 35.56. Effectively the only wide runner in the race because I don't think Five's going to bother it. I don't think anything in this race is going to win by 4 or 5 lengths. It's one of those. I think there's a few that have got quite good pitches and have a decent chance of turning quite handy. So, and it wouldn't surprise me to see 1, 2, 4, or 6 win. I mean, that's obvious on the prices, but it'd be no shock to me to see Antigua Princess being beaten.
Yeah, she's weak in the market, so yeah, a lot of people agree with this. She was sort of 8 to 13 on the earlies, and she's now what 2.2.
2.2, yeah.
There's money for Antigua Blue, who was sort of 7 dead on the earlies and coming to 4.0 now. So
yeah,
you could say as well that the dog that we give a chance to, Wentworth, is probably about the price that it was on the early. So that there are a few people kind of riding with us.
Yeah, there are.
Dapper Didden's a little bit support in the ring.
Yeah, in the ring. Yeah, there is.
The exchange doesn't really reflect that.
Someone's probably out 50 quid on the course.
Could easily be, yeah.
Yeah, 6s into 4s.
And have you played here, Ryan?
To be fair, I'd be with Antigua Princess, but the price was so short. But if we can get a little bit of 5 to 4 about it, I might have a little play.
Yeah. I've had a little nibble at 11 to 10. I've had a little play myself, and
I made it about a 4 to 6 shot, so 5 to 4 wouldn't be too bad at all. I just can see her banging out tonight.
I did agree with Tom that I thought Wentworth was overpriced. So, but yeah, it's a funny
track to place bet, isn't it? Because tracks like Monmore, you can have a strong runner who you think's got a very good chance of being in the places, whereas at Romford, you can finish first or last just by virtue of being, 100th of a second in the right or wrong place at the first bend.
Maybe a bit different over 575 and the 750, Tom. But
750 definitely a different story. But even on the 575, you can win or lose quite a few lengths at the bend.
Have you played, Rob?
Yeah, just had an owner's bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you? Is it the Nathan Hunt Racing Club?
Yeah. I head the syndicate for the lads. We've got a good team. There's no more than 10 of us. We've got now 4 or 5 dogs. So
there we go. Good. And they're away and racing fairly level line, leaving the boxes, and it'll be tight into the turn.
Goodness!
Red Antigua Blue has gone round in front from Wentworth, who's just dropped back and any moment now gets past. And they've got a full circuit to race, and Antigua Blue is in a bit of a hurry here, gone 4 lengths clear down the far side. Any moment now is turning second. Then comes Wentworth along with the 4 Antigua Princess, who's trying to stay on round the last 2 curves, and it is Antigua Bluey in the red jacket, some 3 lengths. It's going to go on the score for Nathan Hunt. 1, 3, and 4. The order. Any moment now, second. And Antigua Princess only third.
Well done,
William, Rob, mate.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You can't beat seeing your dog go round in front like that. You don't normally see him this close to the corner, do you? I thought we had it with Wentworth at one point there.
Yeah.
And they go unbelievably wide off the second.
He didn't bend brilliant, and whereas she did, Rob, didn't she? She raced the bend there.
But they all go sideways here. You never normally see this. It's almost like they're all following the one.
Yeah.
I think Bluey just got up right where it mattered.
Yeah.
Literally bang on the first bend, and that was that. But great run.
You'd see a lot of
Yeah,
dogs.
as they broke, you couldn't say anything really outpaced anything else. And Tom said, Wentworth was probably ahead in front of Bluey, but Bluey just railed him off really.
Turned left at the right time and just
I think it was probably a little bit braver, I've got to say, and it's a good start.
Really good run.
Yeah.
Has Bluey been round Hove?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, I reckon run quite well there.
No, it's it. We'll take it for the up now.
Yeah.
That starts next week.
Which sorry?
It's a Coronation Cup, and it starts.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a good competition that.
So, running like that, is it a good reign of form? So we'll, long may it continue.
Do you reckon it needs the one box, or it needs the rouse, or if it started coming off, do you reckon there'll be a bit of a problem with him getting round or not, just because of the lack of pace, maybe?
Possibly, but he won from 2 last week, so
yeah.
I'd say as far out as 3 would probably be as far as you would want to be, really. But it's strange because obviously he's showing pace over that side, whereas at Toaster and with the 400, he was sort of showing that early pace, because he has paced up well there, really. As you say, Wentworth left, and she 13.60, and he's paced up and gone round. So
yeah,
he's coming forward. It's nice, and the phone's going mad. So all the boys.
Well, that's what it's all about. Well, fair play, Tom. This is the first of the Central Park dogs. It's a big price as well. Tintree's Neve in track 1. I've had a tenner on this, so if you put
I will put it up.
Mark it up. But there's only 3. There's three little marks at. Actually, one is a non-runner, so 2 marks at Central Park.
We have a near 100% record at Central Park. Can't forget that.
And we're taking on a short price favourite here as well in Fresh Air Pie, track 3.
Good name, that.
We're going with the red here. We took a little bit of 6.2 and it's now 5.5. So we've got the value. You can't eat value, Rob.
That was the name of Mick Livesey's book, You Can't Eat Value.
Oh, was it? Is it Woking now? Is it?
He was at Oxford. I don't know where he's gone now.
Is it football?
Yeah, he does commercial.
Yeah.
Sales or something. Yeah, he's at Woking Football Club.
Woking, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask me on a golf next one.
35.42.
It's cracking.
35.42.
Brilliant.
Very good. Who do you think would be favourite for Coronation Cup?
Interesting. It starts next Friday, doesn't it? So it's nice to see who turns up, really, because there's a few dogs. I mean, I thought Antigua Princess would have gone for the Derby, personally. Not because he's ours. I'd say he's got to be up there as one of the favourites. Funny enough, he done 35.43 last week. He's done 35.42 this week. So it's let's have a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, actually. There's a couple of runners at Crayford. So the Kent Ledger's on as well, isn't it? So it's not even if you're going to get the dogs that are going to go to Romford.
You think how wide Bluey's gone as well off the second? Probably lost 2 lengths roughly there. Yeah. So that makes him a 35-20 dog, and that's going to be running very close.
8:03, Tom. Yeah, Central Park. Hair approaches off and racing. We broke last as 2 bolted out. Wacky Hacky leads into the turn. Pacing up in behind is the red Tintree's Neve. Going to turn around about 3rd. As they come off the last turn, though, it's Wacky Hacky out in front. Tintree's is running on. Wacky Hacky is going to win it from Flowerpot Ivy. We've got 3rd.
It's not beaten far.
Not bad. for a 6.0 dog.
We're still in profit for the night. Keeping our head above water.
In fact, that comp don't start next week because it's not. This is heats, so it must be the week after.
Yeah. So it'll be in the final.
Yeah.
Next Friday. Yeah. And have you got runners at Toaster Friday?
I believe Nathan's got one. Yeah, I think Diamond Lisa goes on Friday.
Ah, right. Yeah.
I think he's there every night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
All right. Lovely.
That's what you want.
Yeah, ideal. It's not too far from Cambridge, though.
Yeah, I think it takes him about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice one.
He could pick me up on the way. Drives past my house.
Give him a shout. he won't have anyone in the van. It's quite what's the word?
Skeptical.
Superstitious.
Yeah, superstitious. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just jump in the van, and if you start parading a dog in a comp, you got to finish it. You can't.
Trainers are really, really superstitious.
Honestly,
wickedly superstitious.
He was going on because the champion stakes. He was going on a holiday, so he wouldn't parade a dog because he wouldn't. He wouldn't be there because he couldn't make the final. He was on holiday. So we all had to parade the dogs.
And Ryan, were you looking at the derby? Were you playing the derby? You were anti-close bets?
I've not yet. I was waiting for the entrance to come through. But I was saying to the boys earlier, I think when you was off air, I think I'll be looking more towards the outside purely because as we spoke about. I think there's a lot of. I think I see. Is it Kuchais? Is that how you pronounce it? Kuchais?
Kuchais.
I saw that. I think 130 to 1. And considering what he'd done round Hove that night, I'm not saying it could possibly win the derby, but it can go a good few rounds. And then, like we say, the further it goes on, when a dog that really wants one goes out to 4 and 5, the each way money could be there potentially. So I'll start looking towards the outside just to get a few big prices, and I'll start working my way in.
Change of kennel as well, wouldn't it? It's gone to Reeves.
Yeah, it's gone to Reeves. From Mullins. Yeah.
David, was it David?
David Mullins, yeah.
David,
But 130 to 1, I think that's massive.
Rob, have you played in the derby?
Yep, I was saying earlier, I've done. My first bet was Explosive Boy, but sadly he's obviously out. I've backed Fast Fit Paddy at 101.
Yeah.
He done a sub 410 sectional out of track 1. Yeah. That's flying.
Seamus Gorn's dog, yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Tailor made for Toaster, and I played a Bocco's dog, but not Belly. I played the Bud Sit dog.
Yeah.
I think he'll keep getting his draw. Lovely early, and I think he just gets stronger and stronger as the comp goes on. Really nice dog, and Graham and Bev like him a lot. So I've got him for the minute.
And Tom, you played?
I haven't done yet. No, I'm going to spend the weekend going through. I want to because now we've got the cards for the first round. I want to go through them and see what's potentially in danger because I don't want to be backing a dog that I'm taking a bit of a chance on that's got a terrible draw or a spoiler up inside it.
Funny enough, I was running them off. I was running the cards off. I got them yesterday, and I was printing them off. And Buckley actually rang me just to ask what I thought of his draws. And I didn't really. I had to go through kind of there and then. And once you start going through and actually looking at the videos, then you really get. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but I actually enjoy watching the videos and then doing my prices and then looking at if I'm similar or dissimilar to what the books are. I say I think the books have already priced the first night, but I don't want to look because I don't want it to influence me, and that's what I'm saying. We're doing so many cars at the moment. I just have to take that chance.
I was thinking about the dogs that haven't run particularly well in their first run round. Like All About Ted is a huge price because it's not run particularly well in its first look round Toaster. But I don't think Toaster is a particularly easy track your first look and first run. So I think
He's
they
been there before, isn't he? He wouldn't be his
No,
first.
he was there last year, Tom. He was there
He won
last
there
year.
last week.
Oh, true.
He's been there twice. He's been there twice from in trial stakes, and he's been drawn in the middle and drawn in wide, and he's just not. He's not starting. Obviously, it's class. So it just goes to show you that he is an Irish Derby finalist, and you can get him beat if he.
They're
if he
two
doesn't
completely
start.
different tracks, Shelbourne
Yeah,
and Toast.
exactly.
They couldn't be any more different.
I mean, we were talking about go wide, sort of. He in the chat, he said about Thorn Falcon and stuff like that. You need to be able to run Toaster, and probably All About Ted would be one of those that keep flashing the ability, but if you make a mistake, you can get knocked out, and that's the worry. And I genuinely don't know where he wants to be. You put him in the middle, and he looks like he wants to move off. You put him in the wide, and he wants to move in. He's a really, really difficult dog to 100% know where he wants to be. And when you're going through a derby, you have to do it consistently. So what Ryan's saying is, I like that theory in that if you've got a genuine wide runner, that he's going to get his box all the time, and he can break, he can get in the race, and he can stay. Then that's a route to success. And you only have to look at Thorn Falcon, and that was his route to success. In that Patrick got in there in the final, he went bang in the final. So
bang,
yeah.
Well,
actually, Canara went bang. Canara and out banged him, but yeah. So it's a good theory that Ryan's got in that with Thorn Falcon it wasn't necessarily. I mean, at the time, Ballymac Fairwell was absolutely flying, and they got him to the final, and he missed the kick and didn't win. So. Yeah. It's all about it's about qualifying. It's about getting them there. You don't mind it. There are a few dogs that have gone and not won a round of the Derby and then gone and bang and won the final. So,
but it was in that final. It was brilliant to watch because the two Patrick's dogs banged and the other four were absolutely devoid to the
yeah.
It's even better to watch when you've had a bet on Thorn Falcon.
6-1 and all. It was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah. Especially when it went round the second, you knew it was all over.
Rob, tell us why we shouldn't be backing Misty Orr here at this price.
Get on.
Yeah. That's a mad price, isn't it?
Yeah. She obviously first race for Nathan tonight, but
that's some trial, though, isn't it?
She's really good trial. And they thought the track was a bit slow before racing as well, so I think she'll lead. She should lead four up 9 times out of 10. So, and I've made 4 the danger. That's Tommy. Been brilliant for Nathan since he arrived. He was 5 on the spin. Won a Queen Mother at Sheffield. If he got on a bunny, it'd be a tough dog. But I think Mr. Dior different class to these.
Yeah, well, we've had to play it. So we did say that we thought Mr. Dior was a runner. I thought the Dougie Dodo was probably the danger. Ritzy Flyer is obviously a runner, but needs to get the run. Slapdash Tommy's probably the only other half a runner. I didn't really fancy top and bottom, but weak in the market. But Rob, we've seen so many of Nathan's dogs recently, even with the Stories dogs, been really weak in the market, and yet they've still gone on and won. So sometimes you kind of have to believe in what you see and go with what your eyes say rather than what sometimes the Betfair can put you off, or the matchbook in this instance can put you off.
100%.
The exchange.
Perfect example was the Stories dog in the Maiden Derby. Open 2-1. I think went off 11-2, 6-1.
Yeah.
Crazy. Dog don't know its price, does it?
No, not at all.
I've had a couple of quid on Ritzy Flyer at 2-1.
Have you?
Yeah. I just thought it was sham bundles. I know, as Rob was saying earlier, it was a weak race when. Yeah, as Rob was saying, it was a weak race when Princess come and took it up. But I think she was going. Into the third and fourth. It was going to absolutely demolish him off that. But it got checked up and everything like that. So the time doesn't speak anything of what I think it would have done on the night. Any sort of clear, I reckon it'll be good. But I was straight away. My eyes went to Miss Dior, especially. I think it run the Constellation Brighton Bell. Was it the Constellation Brighton Bell when it got up on the line? Yeah. That was a cracking run as well. So 5.75, it's going to get it lovely. But just the run behind Princess, because I thought Princess was going to win tonight. So I thought if she won and it franked the form, and you'd go straight on to Ritzy Flyer in the next. But yeah, I've had a couple of quid on that 2-1.
Was it? Did Donovan train Misty, or was it?
Donovan, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, the thing is, there's not masses of early speed in this race, is there really, particularly? And you'd think if Miss Steele did start, she'd put herself in pole position. I thought that's why. I don't know. I don't know the class of Dougie Dodo particularly, but I just thought that he could start and probably clear Slapdash Tommy, who's obviously a Nathan dog that probably wants further, and Ballymac Brook as well. So.
You go back to the Dodo dog, his form isn't, I mean, it's not great. I mean, he got beat by Horace the Tortoise, which is...
Yeah, no, you're right. I totally agree with you. The form isn't great, but I just thought in the context of this race, really, that he could get himself prominent, and obviously that's half the battle. So that was just my thinking, Rob, really, in that Dougie Dodo could start alongside... slow starters, if you like, and get himself in the race. Yeah,
I can see where you're coming from. I mean, two's not devoid of early. Like the Tommy dog got a bit of toe. He wouldn't be completely devoid for the 5.75. And so if Ritzy Flyer gets his room, he is the fastest dog in the race. There's no two questions about. But are you going to be playing? At this price, that he's going to get running room at Romford.
Yeah.
Not a bet for me. They're in. Flags waved.
Do you want to do this commentary?
No, you're all right, mate.
Into the Romford Friday night 500 stairs. And away and racing at 6, Listerkill Lorry has bolted out the boxes and leads into the turn in front of Slapdash Tommy, who's going to turn in second spot. Then comes Dougie Dodo, and then in behind these comes the 5 Miss Dio, who's trying to work into the contest along with Ballymac Brook, and the back marker is Ritzy Flyer down the far side, and Listerkill Lorry for a big price for Gene Lyles has a 3-length lead, but here comes Dougie Dodo closing round the last 2 turns, clear of Slapdash Tommy as they come off the last bend. 60 started a paddle, 3 Dougie Dodo up on the inside, beginning to get up and nails it right on the jam stick. Dougie Dodo wins it for Mark Wallace.
That 6 has always got a flyer in it. It's 1365 sectional the other week, and I did have it written down as being a potential
leader
spoiler in the race. Yeah, but there was no doubt in my mind off the last 2 bends that Dougie Dodo was going to win that.
I was waiting for it to stumble again, like the race comment said from last week.
I can see where it has got a funny action, Free.
Yeah.
If you watch his action off the lot, it's got a really funny action. But watching Miss Dior, she don't know where she wants to be. She's wide, she's round, she's middle.
Yeah. I don't know if she's trying to be too clever and go for gaps.
I'm not there.
Yeah. She's either got great track craft or terrible.
35, 34.
But that's what I meant about that race, in that, like if something broke, you just knew it'd get in the race, because I didn't think there was an enormous amount of speed. She never really broke Miss D, or she never got into the contest, and probably not knowing Romford that well, although she's had a couple of looks around there. It's different to go from trials into race conditions.
It is, yeah, that's very true.
Dougie Dodo got himself in the race, sort of thing. I didn't realise he quite come from as far back as he did. He sort of, I suppose, he outpaced Slapdash Tommy Rob, really?
Yeah.
Part of the contest.
Yeah.
So I thought when Slapdash Tommy turned second, I thought, here we go.
Yeah, you would have thought Tommy would have got
Yeah.
on from there and made a race of it, but
But he's probably just at the one pace, really, and he wants further, doesn't he? So
yeah, he probably does want to. Like the 6:30 Monmore would probably be right up his alley, I'd say.
Yeah.
This next race, the 8:38, it was a no race last week. What happened?
Traps failed.
They couldn't get the traps off the track, could they?
Hydraulics went. It went pop. They couldn't get the hydraulics up. Shame, because the owner of 6 that was free clear down the back went across the line and a chunk on.
Oh no!
Do you reckon the 2 might have picked it up though? Turning 3 lengths down? It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Track was running fast last week, wasn't it? I think it might.
Yeah, it was a little bit fast. Yeah.
It's fast tonight as well. So
yeah.
And I played 1 last week. And it's not the same dog in 1 as it is in 2. It comes away so much better. It does in 2 than it does in 1. I can't.
We played here. This is the second bet at Central Park.
Oh!
So we bet Born a Train here in red. I missed the 4 dead. It's gone 3.7, 3.8 now. So
You love to see it.
So I've had a little dabble, try and get the old Central Park money back from earlier on. Thirds are no good in this game, right?
You can't beat a chase.
Yeah.
I've seen this Born a Train run a few times. I just think it'd cause trouble for herself in a solo.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just maybe it's just me who can't catch it right when I've backed it and it goes off at a stupid short price. But it then becomes a layable price because you know what potentially it could do throughout the race.
Yeah.
So why do you fancy this one, PL?
No, only because I just got a couple of marks. Yeah, just got a couple of marks earlier on.
It's been backed in a bit.
You can't ignore those, can you? They don't always work, but
What have we got to do?
Come from off the back. I think that's exactly what Ryan said. Is that there could be an hard luck story here. There could be a hard luck story, but we're willing to take a chance. That's the thing, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
We're willing to take a chance.
Money for 1, money for 2.
Right, here we go then. Away with the flag. For 80 metres strip at Central Park. And away and racing, and 5 and 6 get the best rate. Early pace though from Wesh Polly Pocket to go to the front. Just runs off a true line there. Second spot goes to Decisive Dash. And look in the wing mirrors because here comes one Born a Train starting to make inroads into the front 2. Round the last 2 turns, he gets held up there. He's clumsy. There's no dangers. But Fresh Polly Rocket has gone on now and leads from 2 lengths. Now, I don't know. Decisive Dash, I think, might have got there. Photo anyway. 5 and 2. Yeah, and now we're in front half the line.
We were warned just there. Born a Train touched the barge pole.
If it didn't run up the dog round the third bend, it would have run up it just before the finish line. It would have. It just, I don't know. It's every single time as well. It's going the fastest down the back straight.
He actually glanced at 2 coming out of the boxes there as well.
Yeah.
He just chucked his head a little bit.
There's times I've seen it. There'll be a gap on the inside, and rather than going around the inside, it would check up behind the back of another dog. It's just. Yeah, the sat nav needed.
Tom, sacked. He's sacked that one, right?
It's on the list.
Yeah, no more.
The Forever Growing.
Yeah.
His prices have been 9 to 4, 9 to 4, 9 to 4, 4 to 5, 6 to 4, 8 to 11, and he ain't won one of them.
For a dog with a 1 in 17 strike rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't even say bet him each way because he comes third, all right?
You'll bet him next week, PL. We know you will. You've got to get it back.
I just had a text from a lad that I used to own a few dogs with. Wolf and Queen won tonight at Nottingham. She was dropped into an A2, so she was entitled to be fair. But that's the. Actually, I've got a sister here sitting in the background. Drando double. That's a that's a sister.
There's no word for the lads on the winner though.
No, I knew she was running because the lad that owns her in the syndicate, he actually bought a dog out the sales, and that was in the same race. But the Wolf and Queen, but she's a bit quirky, but she's talented and obviously she can win A2. She's got sort of 34s on her card, but she really wants 6 bends, and she just keeps thrashing around Nottingham 500 metres every week, but and she probably won't switch it as well because of her attitude, shall we say? Yeah. But she wins races. To be fair, she's won. I think she's won. She's better than 1 in 4. So
yeah. Reminder for our viewers: if you want to sign up for Matchbook and bet along with us, if you use the code WatchAlong, you'll get a £30 free bet if your first bet loses.
Tom's gone. He's froze.
Just me and you, Pierre.
Yeah, he was doing the spiel. You froze there, Tom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back now, yeah. So you need to do that again. Watch along.
Please sign up for Matchbook using the code WatchAlong for £30 free bet if your free bet loses. We don't get a share of net losses or anything like that. It's just a way of them tracking whether or not people watching are signing up. So there it is. There it is at the top. Get signed up. And Matchbook will know that the dog lads are signing up using WatchAlong. One here from Colm. Sing Along Sally qualifies every week. Good, a bit of luck. A finalist for me. Get through that first round, and I think you're right, Colm. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the stream, though. I think there's probably something wrong with the server.
Yeah, boys just texted Bluey did a 1365 sectional, so
that's decent. That is very good.
Especially with say there's trouble on the bend, do you reckon they all come together as well, or do you reckon he just right through?
I don't know.
Hard to tell, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was hard to tell. Probably because of the camera angle, which is dog shit. That's the main issue. Maybe one day they'll sort it.
The reason why they won't have these head-ons and stuff like that, I believe, is because the bookies don't want no advantage.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory, but it makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Of course it does. I used to love. Remember the old toaster? They used to have the camera so you could see them on the back straight.
Yeah,
coming towards you. You know, that makes such a big difference. Such a big difference. Yeah. And Shelbourne in the big nights, you see a lot of dogs from 2 to 3 at Shelbourne all move off down the back, all pulse the hair, and then they drive that bend again. But if you don't know what you're watching, you'd never see that.
No. I mean, the camera angle at Taster, I think, is still one of the better ones in the sport, just because it's so high up.
Yeah, of course.
The viewing's decent there, considering how far back from the track you are. My dream when I win the Euro Millions is to buy Romford, and then on the other side that they've knocked down, build like a sports entertainment complex there. So I'd have like a roof terrace that's got viewing down over it, and then I'd have it up on a mezzanine so you can still park underneath. I'd have a casino with a big sports bar in the middle floor, and I think that'd do so well. I think that'd do so well where it is.
It would
Loads
be
of
well
parking and a terrace out the front. You could have a nice restaurant, like a proper, like decent high end restaurant, like steak and lobster and stuff like that. 60, 70 quid a head, and people would pay it in the right surroundings,
Of course they would.
and have that, and a nice terrace with steps outside to sit on and watch the racing from elevated position. I think it'd do really well.
You probably make it a 480 as well.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, there's the room to do it.
Lose the pavilion.
Yeah. Well, the pavilion's just a conservatory, so. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, can do now.
Yeah, lovely.
Welcome back.
Do you know what it was? I had to switch my iPads over because one was losing battery, so I quickly switched it to the other one.
2 iPads. Someone's doing well.
Nah, it's a work one. I won't take that much credit.
Right, let's have a look at the next race. So, I had a good look at this race. TJ Slipway has got a very, very good draw. Got decent early pace, 363, 60, 361, 370, 371 sectionals, and with nothing inside it, it's got a clear on the outside. And then you've got the two on the inside, Burgess Glengar and Greenside Sydney. Now, Greenside Sydney will either turn right or run straight from 2, which effectively gives Burgess Glengar a solo on the rail. If you're doing 385 sectionals in this company, you're not going to be winning races normally. But with the rail there for yourself, and if you're doing those sort of sectionals, are still doing 2404, 382, 2402, that's more than enough to just get up the rail and win the race. So I can see why Burgess Glengar is favourite, but I wouldn't put 1.78 and 5.1 as kind of the gap between them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, one's by far the fastest dog in a race, but it just is say it's not got the best of earlies, and I don't think it breaks as well as it does from 2. It was fourth. Was it 5 behind, 6 behind last week at the turn?
Yeah.
The danger 3 is an interesting runner. Binksy Steve. I think if he can, he got some early toe. But yeah, draw's been races for me, and 6 is absolutely plotted on the outside. And I think, and with a fast track, I think if he can steal a march from the rest, I think they'll find it hard to peg him back.
Yeah. And what do you think,
I
Ryan?
couldn't be back in one at the sort of price it is now. Yeah, I couldn't be back in one at the sort of price it is now. Not after last week's break. Similar to Rob, I think the 6 has got an ideal draw now with a 5 vacant, but it's treading water coming home, so it's how close.
Yeah.
Another dog turns behind.
Because Burgess Glengar is 2 lengths quicker.
DV, but I do think if it turns went 8-4 to 6 now, do you want to be on? You know your fate pretty much after the first bend. I don't know if you want to do your dough at that sort of price, or whether, again, I know we've done a couple of place bets tonight, whether you want to go place betting on the 2 at 2 to 1 just to go follow them round and see if it can get a place. But from a betting perspective, I don't know whether I'd want to be on the 1 at the sort of price it is.
None of these place prices are particularly attractive because there's 3 dogs who've got a
No.
decent chance, and you can't even rule out 3 for a place.
No.
It's a difficult betting race unless you've got a very strong opinion. I mean, if you've got a fiver to throw at the race, I'd put that on 6.
I'd go 6. Yeah, I'd go 6.
But if you're putting a bag on,
But 6 is
you'd probably. Yeah.
But then, should that change your mind? The bigger the price, you know what I mean? The more you're going to win back. Yeah, the more you have on. So I don't know whether that would change my thought process, depending on if I fancied it or not. I think there's just so many possibilities. I think because everyone saw the race last week, they know that it's a huge possibility that the one can miss it again. And if it does, it's going to be probably banging trouble. But if it doesn't, it'll probably win by. You can take a guess at how much it'll probably win by.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think of Binksy's? I asked Tom this earlier on. What do you think of Binksy's Stevie?
In the right company, it's a very good dog. Before it had its layoff, I think it got slightly injured. Before it had its layoff, I thought it was running very well. They've moved it. It's become more of a middle dog than a rouse dog. But on its day, if it does hit the front, it's hard to peg back. For me personally, I think it's very jealous when it's off the front.
Yeah, I kind of thought that. In the reason now you just said that, that's probably what my thinking is that I think he's carrying his head up a little bit, and I'm not sure he's got his head down. And I think that might be, like you say, he might be remembering his injury or something like that. I just don't think he's putting it all in at the moment. I think he's running his snatches.
I was going to say that it's very snatchy, and he's a bit kangaroo-y when he's running.
Yeah.
But if it does hit the front, it is very jealous off the front.
That's
and
the thing is, he could play a bear in this race, because I actually watched him in a video with Burgess Glengar, and he actually outpaced Burgess Glengar to the bend, only by about half a length.
Yeah.
But obviously, if he smacked the lids and cleared 1 and 2, and I know Greenside Sydney's been breaking well recently. I just thought it was one of those races where I've got to put my hand on my heart and say I don't really know what's going to happen here. And I must admit, I agree with you. I think if I was going to play the race, I'd probably lay the red, because although I think it's the most likely winner, I don't like the price.
Yeah.
But
if you're going to lay it, would you lay it for the place?
Yeah, but it's a front runner's race, and no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I couldn't place.
No, because he's got good two. He won a race, I think, against a couple of these, showing good 2 or 3. He didn't even lead; he just showed good 2 or 3. But I think he might be in the race, and he was sticking his head up. He actually got in front of Burgess Glengar, Binksy Stevie, and he kind of didn't really, in my eyes, put it all in. So that's going to help Burgess Glengar. But I don't see how it can be this price, really. I think it's miles too short. Watching brief for this race, then. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if you had £100 stake on the race, you'd probably lay the 1 dog for a 1er and leave yourself 80 as a liability, and then you'd probably go 10 and 10 on the 2 and the 6 just to top up the value if it was to go that way.
Yeah.
I'd have 100 on 6.
Or just go 100 on 6.
Yeah,
I must admit,
I followed Slipaway TJ when he was running A5. So anyway, this is the £500 standard final. Air approaches, no track 5 here, 5 dog race. And away and racing, and one has stepped out lively, just moves off a true line into the turn, but it is Burgess Glengar that's going to lead. Trouble out back for TJ Slipaway. Got a bump from Binks's Stevie, and down the far side, Casey O'Flaherty's Burgess Glengar has a 4-5 length lead over Mohawk Bob, who's moved into second spot. Their Indian file coming off the last, and Burgess Glengar is going to absolutely hack up here and wins it nicely. 1 beats 4, I think 2 was third. Burgess Glengar, he went to Sosa. Then he went back to Romford, and now he has won 500 English.
That looked a sub 24-second run to the eye. That was rapid.
He's tracked. He's got.
Yeah, he's a quick dog, and
he stumbled coming out, but he's paced up lovely.
Yeah, exactly that, Rob. Yeah.
Let me give you a scenario as well. When you look at what happened from traps to the winning line first time, they've crossed over 1 and 2. If he don't start, then there could be all sorts of bother. And that was the crucial part of it. That was obviously the people that took the 2.0 into 1.8. They were confident he was gonna step out lively from the boxes, and once he has, he was weighed in at Wincanton. Yeah, he's a quick dog when he gets it right out of the boxes.
Yeah.
Quick dog. But he's in the derby, isn't he? I'm sure he's in the derby.
Is he?
I'm sure he is.
I never saw an entry for it. No.
Let me have a look.
And I thought he was in it. I think he was in it on Friday. I think he's on Friday. I could be wrong.
You're rarely wrong.
I could be though.
I don't think he's in the derby, is it?
No, I didn't see it declared.
Yeah, he is. He's in the second race. He's in the second race on Friday night.
He is. He's
I tell you
100 to 1.
I tell you for why I knew, because Buckley's got the red dog in the race, bobsleigh dream. Yeah, so I thought he was.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's about the only one I got right now.
What did it? What's the draw? What draw did he get?
He got 2.
2.
Bobsleigh
It's
dreams
a bit
in
more of
one.
his true line.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, what you see there, it's a bad box room. Burgess, Glengar, Swift Wolf, Barry Draper's dog, Paddy Mac Belver, Liam Dowling, Vanna Lover, Raven Liz, and Burko's Bobby Donovan.
He could leave there.
He could do. He could. Yeah, he could do. He could do. Yeah, he could do. Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah, because and again, he's one of those, Rob. He's one of those dogs that he kind of needs to start to show his early. He doesn't always miss it and roar up. But when he starts, he's got a nice pattern. There's nothing going to get like that in that sort of class and company. And they're proper Friday night Romford dogs, aren't they? They just beat there, and he's beat them standing still, really.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's one of those dogs. He just needs to. He needs to break to show his like most dogs, I suppose. But he needs to break to show his true potential. And
he's quite like he races as well, isn't he? For an
exactly. He is. Yeah. I actually did have a dog at Crayford when Katie was at Crayford, and she's so down to earth. She's such a workaholic, and she does try hard, to be fair to her. So yeah, I wish her all the best.
To be fair, I've got my strongest bet coming up in the next race. Well, what I think is the strongest bet personally, in the 5 box, Kingdom Fire.
Yeah.
I can't see. To be fair, I thought Brennan's mix break last week was. I thought it looked better than what it was because the 5 just started for the rows and started taking out half the field with it. And if you look as well, when Kingdom Fire was in the 3 box, the 4 kind of checked over the back of it, and I thought it had his back legs clipped just a little bit before it went round the first. So again, that makes the run even better to mow down Brennan's mix. So I don't think that would be reversing the form. And then if you put them in a match race with the 4-dog Spikuza, I think that the 5 runs all over it. So I made this a really good bet. So I've had a couple of quid at 5-2. I think it might be going out on the exchange now. I'm not too sure.
No, I must have been when Tom sort of discussed this race earlier on. I actually thought that the dog that was pulled out of David's had a big chance, although again, a bit like Burgess, Glengar didn't really want to be in red particularly, but 2 and 3 have not got blind, there's just sort of bangers that have got the one pace. Spikuza has got a terrible habit of missing it, but did actually break a little bit better last time. He's got a little bit of early. Kingdom Fire, I just thought was moving into the middle, so you just need to mind yourself, Ryan, didn't you? That's the thing with Kingdom Fire. He's not got blinded early, but yeah, I think you're right. If he gets a run, he's going to be difficult to hold, and I think Brennan's mixed one of those dogs. He flatters a lot to deceive, and I know this dog from running 450s at Doncaster, where he'd lead and get picked up, and and Kingdom Fire picked him up readily last week. So I don't really. I'm the same as you. I don't really see why the form would be reversed.
Yeah, I made it quite a strong selection tonight. It's when I was going through the card, I think I was going backwards and forwards, but yeah, on this one, I think it just wins.
What are we talking about? A guaranteed winner.
Kingdom, yeah, Kingdom Fire, yeah.
See, I'm in the opposite. I fancy 6.
No, not after last week. I was so angry. Oh, that went on the list. Went firmly on the list after last week. I had a decent chunk on it, and I was oi-oing it alone in the house at the start, and it just fell in a hole.
Is that significant? Alone in the house.
I just don't think 5 can't get a run like it did last week. I think 6 really does drive that first bend. I think 6 can break and chop them off at the bend. It'll steal a march, and I know it swung off last week, but I think Michelle and that are quite sweet on this tonight.
Yeah.
It's good to see Bernie Doyle on a Friday night.
Say again.
It's good to see Bernie Doyle out on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen him out with, what is it, Unprecedented?
Oh, handful of times.
Got 854. So what got you into the dogs, Ryan?
I think it'd be mostly, to be fair, it all starts when you're little, doesn't it? When your parents take you over to like a track, so it was mainly over Walthamstow. And then it kind of stopped, and then it became a meeting point. One of my close pals moved over to Romford, so I'm not originally from. I live in North London, so I live in Islington. He moved over to Romford, so it because I was working in the Stratford area. It became like a meeting point for us to have a little drink up, and then it became every Friday night, and then you get the bug, and then I was there on Saturdays, and then my dad moved up to Romford, so it was meeting him, and then I'd meet him over the dogs, and then it's become one of those things where you just get sort of attached to it, and then meet a couple of people over there. Met Jack Murrell, late Jack Murrell, and then I got involved in a few kind of young dogs with him. Probably the best. To be fair, when I dipped my toes in the water of ownership, I was involved in Young Blitz. I don't know if anyone sort of remembered him.
Yeah.
But he won the open sprint at the sprint final at Kinsley on Gymcrack night, and then he went. Beat him, walk the talk, and then he come back and then done the clock at Romford over the sprint trip, and then he beat Cotton Pants at Toaster. So he weren't half a bad dog. So getting involved in the ownership, that side of things. But it's all from there. It's just, and then from there, obviously, it just sticks, and then you can't get away from it. So yeah, I think it's similar to. I think the story will be similar to everyone. Once you're there, you're stuck.
Yeah, you are. So do you own any dogs now?
Not at the minute, no. So because of lockdown and stuff like that, and then straight when we went into lockdown, I had my little one. So
still got 40 minutes left, mate. Don't worry. I've got some shares you can have.
You have to keep it on the quiet. This is in the next room, but yeah, we'll talk.
Upstairs.
But yeah, we're having a little one, and now we know how expensive they are. So yeah, I've kind of pulled away from it a bit, but now she's got a little bit older. I'm starting to. Now everything's back up and running, and everything's back to normal. We'll start again. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Tom keep talking about we'll probably get a match book watch along dogs, that sort of thing, and try and get a syndicate together as well. So that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you do your syndicates, Rob? How many people do you have in each of them?
In the Nathan Hunt Racing Club, there's no more than 10. So it'll go. So you'll go out to the original, the main share, and then obviously, then we obviously offer it to outside. So, yeah, but never no more than 10.
Yeah, I think that's good. Any more than that, and it doesn't feel like your dog really.
But we're all. I mean, there's a core of say 7 or 8 that are in all the Nathan Hunt dogs. So it's good, and they're all dog people. Everyone's on the same opinion, and it's just so easy for me. It's so easy to run. Like everyone's it's as good as gold. Like
yeah,
Nathan's worst final. and he's the trainer, and that's it, you know. And everyone has their opinion, but whatever Nathan says goes, and it's good.
It's the
It's good
best
fun,
way.
and
Yeah.
we're getting some good results. And
Yeah, when I was on Racing Post TV, I kind of got a syndicate together, just really put it out there, and then that's the beauty of kind of social media, I suppose, in a way. In that, I think there's a lot of associations, a lot of sort of friendships created through Twitter and stuff like that, where people then go and meet at tracks and things like that. And I put it out on Racing Post TV on us, and we ended up with, we included me, 16 lads together. I syndicated. I bought a dog. I was the auctioneer at a sales in Henlow, and we went there, and Brian Harrison was the organizer then. He's Nora McClellan's partner, and I wasn't the auctioneer. Stephen Ray was the auctioneer, and I was just helping do the books, fill in the books and stuff like that, and organise and help it with them. And no one was bidding, and they kind of threw their toys out the pram. And Brian's a bit renowned for wearing his heart on his sleeve, and he loves a row with people. But they went, this is no good, and they just abandoned the sale. They put up about 6 lots, and I'd been clocking them. When I was looking for a Romford dog, Ryan. Obviously, I'm kind of clocking to the third bend, looking for the speed dogs for a 400 metre. You know, I used to do that at Shelburne Park as well. Me and Lorraine used to go to Harold's Cross, it was the Shelburne Park sales, and clock them to the third bend. And I had my eye on a couple of dogs, and they went, no good. And a lot of people then went to the paddock, and they just bought them privately. It was crazy, really. And I bought a dog called Warning Over, and we had a little bitch that Lorraine trained the mother, and Gary and Livy Noble gave us Coco. So there was 2 dogs, and we syndicated them, and we had it was a real lot of fun. And because I used to do the Romford card at that time, I kind of used to email them my card, basically. And so everyone, if the dogs didn't win, they probably won a few quid out of having a punt on the card, because Romford in those days, I think, was Monday night and Wednesday night. And I used to work in SIS, and in my breaks, like calling races, I used to do the dog videos, and then I think I left at 4 o'clock. I'd get back for 5:30 and be watching the dogs in the evening, you know. So yeah, that was a good little. I think syndicates like that, Ryan and Rob, they kind of bring people together, like you say. It's then a social thing as well, and so
it's good. We always try and have a meet up. One of the lads in Syndicate, Adrian, he lives in Spain, so he comes over. Simon's in Wales. Sam's down in Brighton. So we all try, and it's nice to bring everyone together. Jamie's from Birmingham, so it's a good crack, and they're all a good bunch. The banter's brilliant. It's never a dull moment, shall we say?
Yeah.
So nice. It's good. And look, who likes winning on their own?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
There ain't a better buzz when you're all up on a podium, you know, and it's good. It's great. Yeah, like tonight, Bluey's won. Chat's gone mental. Everyone's buzzing. Just starts starts your weekend.
That's spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Going behind here at Romford, we've had a little dabble on the 5, but
this is massive. It's got a solo to the bend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, going in.
That's it then. So, track 1 vacant here. This is the £500 Maiden final. This I guess Ryan's Napier, track 5 Kingdom Fire. Hair approaches. And they're away and racing.
Ooh,
And 5 gets a bright start, shows good early zip into the turn, looking to clear the 3 and doesn't. And 3 goes on. Catch Me Canya has gone on here. Around about 2 or 3 lengths clear from Kingdom Fire, who's looking now to bridge the gap into the 3rd turn. They're clear then of Spikusa, who's in 3rd spot as they come around the last 2 turns. 3, Catch Me Canya, with 5 now spinning wide. Won't get there. 3 and 5. And Catch Me Canya for David Mullins has won it, courtesy of that first bend lead.
It's run too. It's broken too well. The 5.
Do you know what? I did think that was impossible for 3 to get past 2. But
someone put that
now it
up
has.
before. At 18 to 1, I could live with taking a chance. Trap 3 traps. Well done.
Yeah, 5 cut the bend a little bit too soon, and actually was half a length in front of 3 and just rubbed shoulders, and then all of a sudden 3 lengths clear at the halfway. Yeah, I think we're a bit unlucky there, Ryan. Don't know.
I still thought it was going to run it down after last. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah, I did. I thought it'd still run it down, but
yeah,
do you think
gone
they
too wide, doesn't it?
They seem to spin wide off the.
Yeah, it's weird.
the
It's
last
only
bend.
yeah.
No, it's
I
that
don't know why
last
they
one. They're
keep
all
doing
drifting
it.
off.
Yeah. It's really odd.
Roger's there with a bit of steak, isn't he? Just
That's
giving it
it.
a little wiggle.
I think
Fish.
he's got a bit of
Yeah,
time
got a
on
bit of fish
the
in the
4th
mouth,
bend there. Yeah.
Little freebie from Billingsgate. That's what it is.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The bastard of Billingsgate.
Yeah, the bastard of it. We used to get bit of tuna from him and stuff like that. Yeah, for the dogs. Yeah, we used to get. It wasn't cheap, mate. You think you'd do you a favour? He didn't do you a favour.
Yeah. There's a really good documentary about him.
I know there is, yeah.
Billingsgate.
Yeah.
Well worth a watch if no one's seen it. You talking about auctions earlier reminded me of the first Greyhound auction I went to, and it was at Toaster, and it was in 2017, I think, and it was a pre-Derby sale, so selling dogs for the Derby. And me and my mate Kenny we'd been to Doncaster the night before, and we were not in the best of states, and we decided to. He'd pick me up. He lived in London. I lived in Cambridge. He decided to swing back by Toaster on the way back and have a look. And you don't want to talk down about people's dogs because they had pride and joy, etc. But the dogs in this sale were fucking abysmal. Like half of them did times it wouldn't have even graded on. It was shocking. And this isn't the current Greyhound sales operation there, which is very good. But they put Cable Bay up for sale.
Right.
And he'd done a reasonable trial, 4 years old, and started the bidding at 11 grand for a 4-year-old dog. And literally the entire room started laughing, and it ended up getting bid up to 7 grand. Which was too much, and then ended up being taken off the bench. And that just set the tone for the disaster that was the next 3 hours there, where most people had gone there, had just gone for the day out.
Yeah.
To be fair, there was probably only 2 or 3 dogs worth bidding on, and they got bid up to a decent price. But the breeders were getting really angry because obviously they'd spent a lot of money to ship them all over from Ireland, and none of them were getting bought. And the breeders got up and started having a row with the auctioneer, like proper, like shouting and swearing at each other in this room full of people. It was better than anything on TV. It was a fantastic day of entertainment.
That was a Toaster, was it?
It was, yeah.
The old Toaster, obviously, yeah.
It was the old bad Toaster.
Yeah.
It was
Caleb was
comical.
Brendan Matthews, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. The operation of Toaster back in the day was just comical. I remember going one very, very cold, snowy Saturday night, and it was obvious racing couldn't go ahead. It was like World War Three. It was just the most horrendous conditions. But they had the restaurant sold out, and they knew if they didn't get people for their main course, they'd have to give a refund. So like, racing's going to start soon. Racing's going to start soon. And then for some reason they put a graded race on, and you couldn't even see the dogs. It was snowing so heavy.
Tom, I'm sure we were going that night, and we went down the road, and it was driving literally at 20 miles an hour. And I said to Lorraine, "This is madness." And we pulled in at the Flying Children's pub, which is probably a few villages away.
Yeah.
And we had a few. Oh, I did. She didn't. She was driving, but we had a few beers and few schnifters, and the fire was roaring away, and I think we were trying to find out whether we was going to go ahead or not, and in the end we just stayed in the pub.
I don't blame you. So they kept going, it's going to happen, we're going to clear it, we're doing all this stuff. Then they fucking watered it. It was sub-zero conditions. They fucking watered the track. It was comical. And then Mick Livesey goes on the mic, on the camera, makes a big thing about, I'm going to go out there and inspect it. And he goes out there with the vet to this frozen, bleak track that's never going to happen, comes back inside, and still no announcement. And they flash up on the screen, "Thank you for your patience," spelt like that. And it just summed the night up. And they were properly taking the piss by this point. And Kenny, who I was with, had a good few beers, and he called Mick Livesey things that words I've not even heard of until that day. And racing got called off in the end. So
we were right.
PM just commented exactly what you just said about "thank you for your patience."
You did, yeah. It was an absolute classic.
Yeah.
Oh, there was so much stuff that went on there. Carol Weatherall had a dog. Oh, who was it? The really fast dog that they've had a lot of pups out of. The strong running one, Calico Ranger. Yeah, and they did this race called the Toaster Shootout. Yeah, and it was like a 3-dog match race. And the racing manager phoned Carol Weatherall and said, "Will you run Calico Ranger in this race?" And I said, "Well, we've got a holiday booked to Spain for that weekend, so." All right, we'll cancel our holiday. So cancelled the holiday, and then someone at Toaster said, I want a Mark Wallace runner in the race." And so they didn't tell them. They announced it on Twitter, and Calico Ranger wasn't in the race, and the Weatheralls had cancelled their holiday for it. And it was. Oh, it's outrageous! Literally outrageous. And it came up with some absolute bullshit excuse, but it was just one thing after another at Toaster. The place was just an absolute disaster the first time round. I can see why it went, but it was ridiculous the money they were spending on it. Just nonsense. Every race, every meeting there'd be 10 people there, and there'd be 20 bar staff, and it was just the worst way to run a business. So it was no shock to me when that went under. So it's nice to see that it's come back, and it certainly looks a more sustainable business now than what it was then.
To be fair, Kevin's done all right, isn't he?
He's got the balance right between running a racetrack and a race and a sustainable business.
He's got a good team around him as well, isn't he?
Yeah. The other way round now, 1,000 people only 2 bar staff.
Is everyone off to the derby this year then?
We're doing watch along every single night, but we might go for the final.
We might have to cancel the final one because no one will be here. They'll all be at Toaster anyway. The whole world and his wife will be at Toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be nice to see everyone face to face as well.
Yeah.
Are you, Ryan?
What's that, mate?
Are you going to the final?
Yeah. I'm over there. I've got the hotel booked. To be
Where
fair,
are
I
you
booked the
staying?
English
You go Northampton or MK?
MK. So I've booked the
Yeah,
Hilton
shrewd.
at
Yeah.
MK Stadium, and
I
I'll just
stayed
get
there.
a
It's
cab
really
in.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just get a cab in. So yeah,
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
good.
to it. And I'll
Make
book
sure
the
you
hotel
come for the
for
way
Shelbourne at
home.
the same
I
time. So I
must
just
admit,
done
Tom,
both.
I would love to do a Derby final watch along. I would love to do it.
Yeah.
I would, because the Maiden Derby was so good, and I think the feel good factor was just it's incredible. Because people just say what they want to say. What we did. I mean, you. I know you was really apprehensive, and you would have actually gone to the other building at a drop of a hat, and where we were was actually it was perfect.
It was.
Perfect.
No, it
It
was
was
very
really
good.
good fun. Really good
It
fun.
was very good.
Yeah, it was.
Right here we've got a few quid on Teresa's pet and stories direct. I lumped Teresa's pet last week and felt very, very sad afterwards. But yeah,
Put
can't
a
run
line
as
of form
badly
through
again, can it?
Yeah, put a line
Yeah.
through that form, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it off the first bend. It was like a Bermuda Triangle. It went missing completely.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'll definitely be on that this week. Stories Direct is expensive to follow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'll tell you, yeah, you'd go bankrupt. Again, you got Wildcat Tony in the one. I don't think it wants the one. Don't get me wrong, but again, a line of form through that one because that was when your core team still come down at the first bend. So again, you'd put a line of form through that. I don't think it wants the one, but if it does get out, then again that could go around. TC has
he's got speed, Ryan. Hasn't he has got speed. Wildcat Tony. He just strikes me as a dog that's not quite fiery. He's just not. And do you know he's never ever run from track one? Never.
I've
It's
not
the
seen
first time in his career he's run from track one.
It's just so hit and miss, and it's the same with TC Azza. Even in the graded, it'll go on a purple patch and win maybe 3 or 4 out of 5 races, but then you won't see nothing from it from about 15 races, and it will come back again. And it's come back in the last 2, but yeah, no, I'd probably land my point down on Teresa's pet.
Smash this as Teresa's pet. Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was about 130 earlier on, maybe. Yeah, so about 7 to 230.
Yeah, it's just got tremendous early pace.
Yeah.
But this is another thing about the comments. It's got missed break and it's still done a 375.
Yeah. And then it's got early pace, having done a 374, and quick away 374.
But see, I can make a case for 2 here. I mean, I think the Bubbly Dusty dog is interesting because 2 is definitely turning left and 1's turning right, and I think they're going to just climb straight away at the tin. So 3's going to have a nice run to the bend. 4, whoever decided to put over 500 metres at total, I think need shooting because you don't even take 400 Romford, let alone 6 there. Right, and look, 6 by far is the fastest dog in the race. Stories Direct. He's kids. So the way I see the race, 5 could lead, and you just don't want 6 turning close to it because he will pick it up. I mean, he's been beat. He's gone over to Toaster 500. He's beat 6th in 14 and a quarter lengths by Goldie's Perriman. That crazy.
Yeah, it barely gets to 400.
It's a Crayford dog at best, 380. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then when they bring it to Crayford, it ends up in the likes of Havana Class. So, so I mean, you can't win. Yeah, but I completely agree.
Yeah,
PM likes 3.
Yeah.
PM, a keen judge of the weights and their impact on dogs. Trap 3 has a Romford sweet rate, 32.5.
What's the 3 on the place market, Tom?
It is. That's pretty good.
3 to 1. If it does ping off the front like it did last time in the 372.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That is a good price, isn't it?
yeah, that's a very good price, 3-1.
Yeah.
Considering on the SPP, you're looking at what, 6-1. So that's what, half the odds.
Jeez, they have not stopped betting Teresa's pet.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I chased it down. I was betting it at 5.2, I think, to start. We've ended up averaging 3.6. We've not had a fortune on either.
It's been smashed. It's been absolutely smashed.
Yeah. I did think that I've marked off 3-1 was big.
Yeah.
There's noticed as well. Chelm's players had a switch of kennels now with Gene Lyles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
Could switch of kennel normally could turn a dog on.
Good luck. Good luck.
3.05. It's all over the place. Can you hear the baby crying in the next room?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll put my noise cancelling headset on next.
That's fine.
Oliver loves crying.
Yeah. Fair play.
I can't hear. I think you must have a good hearing, Phil.
I don't know about that. I'm 60 years old, boy.
What?
I can hear it, Tom. I'm used to it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. If he ever stops crying, I'll bring him in and introduce him to everyone.
My little
girl. He's very handsome. He looks just like me.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
He hasn't. He's not. Thankfully, he's not got my nose. He's escaped there. Quite a few viewers tonight. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us.
Must be the guests.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. The number of viewers we get on a Friday night is considerably more than any other meeting we do. I think it's probably just because everyone's in from work at the end of the week and they haven't settling down watching. That's it. Yeah.
People love Romford Friday nights, and when they start putting no disrespect to the graders, but when they start filling the card with the grader races, people not interested.
Yep.
To be honest, I don't know why they started doing that, especially when you've got a big final Coronation Cup, Essex Vars, and then they've got the first 4 races, graded races. I don't get it. I really don't. Don't get me wrong. I love the graded because I sometimes get a couple of quid, but on a night like that, you want all the top dogs turned out, and you want a good night because I do bet opens around the country as well.
Yeah, my theory is that's prime time for people going into the betting shop after work.
Yeah.
So they want to have a few graded races for them to suffer.
I had shared a memory card on Facebook, and it looked on the video. It's race 16 on a Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like 10:50. Yeah, it was 10:50 the last race, I think.
There we go. Good class standard 400 metre open here. Race 11 off, and Racing and 2 gets a smart bar, and it's TC Azza looking to lead into the turn, but Khan runs off a true line, and Wildcat Tony has led off here, goes on 3 lengths clear from the 4. Chelm's player starting to make progress now. His Stories Direct round the outside. It is 1 Wildcat Tony from Stories Direct, looming large up on the outside.
He's swung
wide, powers down the home straight. Got it. Chipped right on the line. Stories Direct for that man again, Nathan Hunt. Gets up right on the jam stick where it matters to deny Wildcat Tony, who Ryan gave a big shout out to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's about half a length.
5 walks out again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really poor.
And bundles of money for it as well.
They've swung off at the last bend again.
Yeah, the 6 swung off massively.
What is going on? Is it a short hair? What is it?
Long hair, short hair, don't know.
It can't be the track forcing that. It must be related to the hair. Harry reckons it's short hair. Where is it?
It
is short. Yeah, that is short. Yeah. It is. That was
That's a good
really,
run, that. Good run.
really short. I mean, that's forcing them over to that rail.
Yeah.
To be fair, they'll be coming off the third, and the bunny will probably be on the fourth, which is why the outside runners are swinging off a little bit more
Yeah.
to dart after it.
Yeah, they're going
'Cause that
straight.
was-
They're going in a
yeah.
straight line, aren't they? Instead of turning
That
the
was
corner. It's
No,
not going
Harry was
far
right
enough
there.
down.
Yeah, Harry was definitely right. That's definitely a.
Like,
To be
it
fair,
happens all the
don't
time.
take it away from the winner. Though. It was great. It's a great run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It was
a
a good run. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
a good run.
Oh, it
but-
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand why this keeps happening, and that's
I don't know what it was though. Even last week with the 575 boxes, when the hair was going past and they were opening late, there was like a little glitch before they were opening. I don't know if there's something wrong. Obviously, then the trouble happened with the traps and the hydraulics and stuff. So I don't know if there's still an issue with the hair mechanism or the traps. I don't know. That could just be. Who knows? But
It
yeah,
sounds a lot tonight, though, isn't it?
yeah.
Seems to
With
be
most of
quite
the wide
marked.
runners, yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, even
Yeah.
with Bluey, when he did get round, swung right off. Yeah.
As if they haven't made Romford hard enough to nick a few quid, they've added in that extra loophole. It's one thing or another, isn't it?
I reckon they definitely need to search Roger on the way out just to make sure under what he's carrying under the Mac.
Yeah. What we got? Is it two races left?
Yeah.
It's gone quick tonight.
That's gone quick. You're right.
As quick as 3 hours that any dinner can go.
Did you have 3 dogs at Central, Paul? Was it
Yeah,
two?
no, the other one was a non-runner. It was.
Okay.
I think it was a 2-dog in the next. Yeah, it was. It
Oh
was
yeah, it's
Louise
vacant.
two-dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 5's been absolutely smashed in.
Derby's kitty, yeah.
Absolutely smashed in. And the 3's on a huge drift. Should we follow the money?
Hang on, let's have a look.
Is the night been that bad? Are we chasing?
Yeah,
We are. We are now pounds down.
But we've got a good record late, haven't we?
We have. The lucky last is
We've
always
got to
lucky.
get out of
last.
trouble double.
Oh, no. It's interesting, that money. A 5.
Have you had a couple of quid on, Tom?
No,
No, I haven't.
I'd actually
What
be
about
with
you,
the
Paul?
3,
It's
mate.
drifting. It's drifting
No.
out a bit
Okay.
now.
I'd play 4.
Would you?
Price.
Milrow Rock.
In fact, when we're not down, I had a couple of quid on one for gold in the next PL. So
Yeah, I see that.
slightly, I took the wrong price. I was overexcited by the
As I
price
was
in my
trying to
head.
bet it myself, and Burger got a 3 one, you'd already taken the 11 to 4, yeah.
I think he was 3 to 1.
yeah.
You hear him again?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's relentless. What are they doing? How long is he taking to put the bloody dog in? About 10 minutes. Ridiculous.
Three, yeah.
I'm a 4. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Oh, three's going to win. Three's won.
Yeah, three's paced up.
Oh, it's run a nice bend. I've never really got Central Park. I just can't.
And all the money was to 5 of them.
Yeah, well,
10 to 11 out to 2s, was it?
Yeah.
Was that the 3?
comes a 4.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
You've got the stayers.
Wow. Go on, son, on you go.
Squad up.
go on, 4. Well in.
Go on,
Well in.
Well played, Rob. Did you have a
Genius.
couple of quid on?
Not a penny.
He was a good
Of
price.
course. That's why it won.
Yeah, you know.
He was a good price.
That's why the 3 drifted.
Yeah. Ben's put a tip up for Sunday. Dog running Sunday at Central, Waste House Aussie. One of the best sprinters in the UK. Thank you, Ben.
Excuse me.
Right, 9:28. We've snatched a couple of quid. He's
Got
getting
enough.
backed in. 3 to 1 was readily available today, but this is where the market is now.
Yeah.
This was a lay for me, 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just dog's got a mind of his own.
I agree with Rob.
You get one. Last week it was superb. This week he could get beat 10.
Mm-hmm.
It baffles me how he'll probably split let's say a 380 and he'll run a 24, 25 and then he can split a 369 like he did last week and run exactly the same time, maybe even a bit worse. Yeah. But he's a strong runner off the front. So realistically, if he gets off the front like a 369, a dog like One for Gold should be doing a sub 24, in my opinion.
He's got a massive draw as well, an enormous draw. He's got what I call a mofo of a draw.
This would get beat. It'd get beaten a 2 dog. I like 2 here. Aero activate.
Yeah, it's danger.
Yeah.
It will come second to 6. You're right.
What's the forecast? You have the forecast.
We don't do forecasts on Matchbook, right?
No.
We just do win and plays.
To be fair, I'd have a couple of pennies on Malik Stormzy.
Yeah, he's a dog I think I've followed before as well, Ryan, but he never does it when I want him to. Yeah,
he's one of them dogs. He run a great race at Monmore. He didn't quite get home, but Antigua Cuddles, I think he ran a great race. But
he gets some good dogs.
But when he is on form again, he could do it both ways as well. So if he is in behind, I reckon he could pick some of these up. And I think the 4 might edge in slightly, not so much because it does go up a little bit straight, but it could edge in a little bit, giving it a bit more room. And like Rob said, the 6 has got a mind of its own, so it kind of does what it wants on the outside. So I'd be with a 5. But now it's touching 5 to 1. I think that's a decent price.
Yeah. If trap 4 breaks, does a 371, that's got every chance of winning.
Yeah, he's just one of them. His last 2 ups, he's just not started.
Yeah, last 2 have been all. But then he's been beat. It's Burgess, Glengar, and Antigua Socks, and this is a much weaker race.
My point is that he's not been starting. It's from 1 and 4, so it's not like it's the box, because when he did bang out the box, he was from 1.
Yeah.
But and he did a 24.19. You're right, Tom. He's fast. If he starts like that and does a 371 sectional at 24.19 and win this.
Yeah, but it's a big if, isn't it? There's a lot of ifs.
The last 2 races it's just not started.
You can't be back with a dog that's been beat 10.5 and 13 in his last 2 races.
That's what I'm saying. He's not looked the same dog.
No, you're absolutely right.
He's not looked the same dog.
Yeah. PM
This by the way, this 6 dog.
What's that?
Ray
Oh
Bosman,
wow, it's been smashed in now.
6 dog.
Yeah. Trap 2, less work to do. Clear 1 goes round. Trap 3 go left out the boxes, could hit trap 2. Then you've got trap 4 if breaks wins. If trap 5 breaks wins, trap 6 best plotted dog of the night. Looking for value, and 4 and 5 of the dogs.
Yeah.
That kind of sums the race up, really, doesn't it? There's a lot of
typical
history.
Romford break. This Romford
It
race
is.
is going to be all on the draw, on the break. Sorry, Brian. I mean, listen, I think 4 wants lane 2.5, 5 wants lane 4.25. So they're all going to be going. 3 wants to be 1.5. They're all going to be traversing into the sort of middle of rails. So 1 for gold has got a plot draw, but again, you need to start. We've seen that, in the previous race. Jesus, she walked out again, didn't she? The 5 bitch, and all of a sudden you don't look. Teresa's Pete, you don't look the same dog. And like two runs prior to that, she looks a machine doing 360 odd sectional.
Yeah.
When you don't start, you just not. It's Romford, isn't it? It's the same any track. To be fair, it's not Romford. So. But there's another one here. They're smashing this. Absolutely smashing it.
Yeah.
So
Tom, look at the flip flop between
the two. Snipe the 3.8.
Yeah.
You were correct.
Thank you.
This is late.
A stopped clock and all that.
To be fair, we saw this happen with Teresa's pet in the last race, and that didn't do much. So I'd take that with a pinch of salt.
Exactly. Yeah.
The smaller the price 6 is getting, the bigger the price 5 is getting. So they can keep tapping away at the blue button. That's fine.
Jesus, this is.
Yeah.
Look at it.
This is mad, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not stopping, are they?
Absolutely mad.
That's the thing is, what gets me is, it's like 11 to 4, 3 to 1 all day long.
Yeah.
And then it owns up 2s and gets.
Yeah. Who's still backing that at 6 to 4? Yeah.
And the match, the exchange backs it up. It's not like it's. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you people can't get on the early, so.
Yeah, it does. Really does.
So they sweat it out and wait, and then just bet on the exchanges. It's
pushing out. I think it'll probably go 6 to 4, unless they've just closed up shop on track. But then this is industry SPs are on the track price, isn't it?
Exactly. So because the money's come free, they're not going to bounce it back out, Tom. They're just not going to do it.
No. Someone's probably had $1,000 on the exchange. Betfair prices come in. They've shit themselves in the office, or they're doing the prices, and we've ended up where we've ended up.
Yeah.
This makes 2 massive.
Yeah, two's got a big. Yeah. You're right. 2 has got a big price now. Yeah, because it was 15 to 8 in the earlies. So
this is massive.
Yeah. And Ryan's saying that 5's massive. So and again, you can bet. The market changes. You can save. You can.
Yeah. If we'd been having a really big bet on this, I'd probably lay a bit off.
Would you?
Yeah.
To be fair, I've had a couple of quid at 6s on the 5, purely because I made it around a 4 to 1 shot, maybe even about a 7 to 2. So I've had a couple of quid.
That sounds like a Greyhound.
Yeah, it's 3 of them.
Yeah. A pack.
Yeah. All of a sudden they decide to go out.
Here we go. This is interesting.
Wave of the flag, hare runs then. Follow us on Twitter at Romford Dog. Standard, hare approaches. And away and racing fairly level line, but 5. Manuel Swansea gets to the front in front of 1 for gold up on the outside, turn second, along with Aero Activate down the back straight. And it's the orange jacket of 5. Malak Stormzy goes on the left here. 2 tries to go up on the inside, but gets forced to check round the last 2 turns. Aero Activate can't find a way through. Off the last bend, 5 swings wide. 2 diving up on the inside. Photo, but 5. Malak Stormzy, I think he'll win it.
On that.
For David Mullins and for our guest, Ryan, well done.
Well done, Ryan. Great call. Really good call.
We'll take that.
Yeah, and actually, he stayed fairly
Broke
straight.
lovely.
And
To be fair,
crying on, he did
the
dive in
Ford
for
done
you
what I
as
thought
well.
it would
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah.
To be fair, it was slower away than I thought it'd be. It come out on crutches, but it gave bundles of room, didn't it?
Yeah. No, he's won a marriage.
Good run. To be fair, the
he's
two's run a
run
great
well,
race there. He just cut it off. Yeah, the two's run a great race.
Yeah. He did 2-bump run up as well when he sort of moved.
Even here, I was a bit worried, Brian, where if 5 swung off, 2 might dive up on the inside. But to be fair, he kept on well, didn't he? As you say, he's run 480 more, so it's not like there's any vulnerability about him.
You'd say at 6, he's got a mind of his own.
That's a good winner.
Yeah.
Good winner. Well done, mate. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
I blame Tom there for not saving.
That's why he disappeared, look.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Well done. There he is.
Oh, Tom Jr.
Oliver.
Here he is. Here's Oliver.
Hello.
There we go.
Oliver.
Nice dinosaur top on. We like dinosaurs in this house.
Yeah, brilliant.
Think he looks like me?
You got your eyes.
No.
Tom, I saw the milkman earlier. Yeah, I saw him. Spitting image. Absolute spitting image.
You can't say that. Hello, little man.
Ah, bless him.
Yeah, there's mine. There's Florence.
Yeah.
Hello, Florence. Go
He's
with flow,
fascinated
that is,
by the
right?
ring light. Right, I'll take him back to his mum.
There's Durando double, look, all curled up in the ball. Look at that. And there's Mrs. PL sleeping.
Anyway, I'm not having that about not having a saver, PL. You're in control of the account. I'm not having that. I keep these on so I can hear you.
Listening. I can't believe
when
it.
I'm out.
Oh dear. What about that?
Well, we got the lucky last. There's always the lucky last. And is it a smash out race? What do you reckon, Rob?
I like 5 here. Swift quad. I'm not too sure 2 will even stay, to be perfectly honest.
2 will stay. 2 will definitely stay.
That's a bad shout, that is, Rob.
2 will definitely stay.
Rob, that's a bad shout, mate.
I've spent the whole afternoon watching videos of him storming to the pickup.
Yeah, the only way this will get beat is he'll beat himself by gearing down on the bends if something's around him. But
yeah.
To be fair, I thought even if the 2 was treading water coming home, I think it'd be too far ahead to even.
I don't think it will tread water though. I think from what I've seen of him, he keeps on really well. 5.75. Yeah. Watch him round the drop as well. So. No.
You only have to look at the 35.23 run. That had put way too far in front to even think about getting caught.
I said to Tom earlier on that 2 and 5 met over 5.75, and put for Rags was probably sort of 3/4 of a length to a length better for early pace to the turn. And then because there was a dog on his outside, he just shit himself and put the brakes on, and all of a sudden was behind Swift Quad. And then he got to the 3rd bend, and again there was another dog around him, and he put the brakes on again. When he went down the back straight and into the 5th, there was no one around him, and he took the bend as smooth as anything. So it's not physical, it's mental.
Yeah.
So if he starts like he can start, and he gets lonely at the first bend, he won't see another rival. I swear to God, he won't. And and he's one of them. It'd be a dog over 575. I just want to be against because I know that he's going to beat himself if you get what I mean. He's just going to down tools, and
Yeah, I watched the 4 dogs last race over Central, and it showed a bit of back straight pace, but then after the finish line got absolutely swallowed up. So
exactly, yeah,
yeah,
and not even a good breaker. So
yeah, he's not a good
I was
breaker
same
at
as you.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was same as you with that assessment. Yeah, so
To be fair, I thought the only danger, well, not the only danger, but I thought the one we know, well, it does get the trip. It's a strong runner, so it could. Well, it depends on, like you said, it depends what two. I think the two can only beat itself really, but if the one does turn close, then that'll be the one hunting it down coming home. So I would have probably a 1-2 forecast, but I've already backed the 2 at 6-4 earlier on. So
clever.
yeah,
Clever.
Got the value, PL.
Yeah. Missed a bit of it though, mine.
It's not too bad.
Don't know what to do here really. No, 180.
I think just leave it at that.
Leave it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I think.
Yeah. Don't want to go chasing it down.
No,
But
there's
it's
nothing.
one of
There's
those
nothing
that
else than exciting enough price to save on.
If this starts, if he starts and he leads, I think he'll win. And I think he'll win.
If he turns off the 6th within 2 lengths of anything, I think he wins.
No, I just don't. I don't want him. No, I don't want him to see. I don't want him to see anything else. I don't want him to
Two
do
sees
that.
another dog, it fold enough.
Yeah.
Say again.
If 2 sees another dog, it just fold.
He shits himself. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, then he's going to lose. He'll just lose ground. He'll just lose ground on the bends. But if he starts, it won't matter because he'll fiddle his way around. With no rivals, and it'll be a 5-6 length. Well, there's another bend, so it'll be an 8 length better, quicker dog.
Harry doesn't agree with this. Better 4 to 6 pokes in future, in my opinion.
I agree.
Who's 4 to 6? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of the exchange. We're better at evens.
Yeah,
And it's now 4 to 5. So I don't necessarily agree with that. But I've got to tell you, when I looked at this race and I looked at his 575 form, and bear in mind, he's run against Droopers Diamante when they both got beat behind Yellow Brick, and he was so much better to Droopers Diamante to the Ben. It was embarrassing. And Droopers Diamante, despite the fact Put for Rags was checking on the bends in behind dogs, couldn't get anywhere near him, and round to the drop as well, by the way. And Put for Rags has also run against Swift Quad behind the Horace dog. Horace is a tortoise, is it? Or something like that. And Swift Quad actually finished in front of Put for Rags. And I swear to God, he got beat 3 lengths by Swift Quad, and he lost 5 or 6 in running. And now he stays, and he's got another bend. Do you know what I mean? So if he starts and leads, that will be it. It'll be race finished. It'll be weighed in at Wincanton, and all I've got to do is stay calm all the way through the race and make it sound interesting. And in fact, he's drifting back out again now because of all the doubters.
That's it.
that's right, Tom. The more they lay it, the more you can have on.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Still 4 to 6 on the industry prices.
And I can't even hear what Ray's saying.
You talking about
I've
total?
got it on mute.
There's money to rack it up. Jim, is this Jim's only runner? He's got to wait till the last race.
Nah, Ritzy Flyer.
Oh yeah, true.
Go wide all over
Right.
trap 1 here. +2 Can't have trap 5 staying. It could not pick up Horace over 575. Only dog can do me is trap 4. Interesting.
Come back to evens now.
So above evens. Above evens. Still holding 4 to 6 on industry prices. Love an industry SP.
weird, isn't it? You get to the last race of the day and all of a sudden you start having a bet.
It's mate, the percentage thing is pretty wild. Obviously, in a 6-dog race, well, yeah, in a 5-dog race, for every dog had an equal chance, it will be 5-1. And then but one of those dogs is 75-1. So to get to a 100% perk, you just shatter the prices of everything else in the race to get to that 100%. $9.42 is too early to be finishing. 6 o'clock's too early to be starting. The old days of the 7:30 start and 10:50 finish was ideal for the drinking man.
Yeah.
Now what do we do? What do we do from here at 9:40?
Just keep the stream going.
Yeah,
Keep the stream going. Everyone get a few beers in.
we've been tempted on nights with boxing to just roll on. We should probably go and help with bedtime. The little man gets quite aggressive between 8 and 10. So he just hates sleeping. He absolutely hates sleeping. Fights it. He fights sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep's great.
I'll be up Crayford in the morning.
That's the spirit.
Are you going, Rob?
Yeah, I've got Ray's taking the dogs. I've got 2 runners there, though. One in the Doles semi and one in the Gaia semi.
Oh, yeah, of course you have, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Seashore, isn't it?
Yeah, Zoomy.
Yeah.
Zoomy, that run cracking out of the 3 box last week. Yeah.
Got some boo, isn't she?
Yeah, she's
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, she's got some boo. She just needs to make sure she holds her line. I thought if she just starts and fiddles her way around, but she didn't want to be running off and hitting 3, does she? So
is that not boy K in 3? Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think she'll go. She's pretty much straight out of any.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just at the bend, I thought she just ran off a little bit on the bend, and do you know why? Because she's going so fucking fast.
And that's only her second look there as well.
Yeah, I know that. And no, listen, as I say, I just know Greyhound. She's the fastest dog in the race. There's no danger of that. I wouldn't want her to be free to get a silly break and her just to be tangling, like rubbing shoulders with him. You just want to, you need to get rid of them and do what she's got to do. Because if she gets an uncontested lead, she'll definitely win.
I think she's. I don't know if she's not uncontested. Her 2 to 3 pace is. I think she'd blow anything away coming out of that second bend.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
She proved that at Romford.
No, she's quick.
Isaac and Rocco.
She's
that
quick.
led her into the bend.
They're all in.
They're all in. Here we go.
So 2 circuits of the track. 7:50 Maiden Marathon. And away and racing, and one has bolted out the boxes, 2 switches to the inside to challenge, and it's one that's gone on here. Drupus Diamante from the 2, put for Rags, who's just checked back a little bit, but now shows good middle gears and tries to go into the 3rd turn and chase Drupus Diamante, who has a 2-length lead from put for Rags. They've pulled clear then of Tungsten Tim. Full circuit to race, and still the red jacketed runner trying to go on the inside, but again shocks over the back of the leader. Drupus Diamante has gone on once more down the finals, the fast straight for the final time, and put for Rags is trying to close along with Racket Up round the last 2 turns. One has gone now 2 lengths clear. Racket Up is now starting to stay on for Jim Rounds off the last bend. Racket Up draws alongside. They bump up towards the line. Photo 4 and 1 gone past together. Racket Up, Drupus Diamante. Fancy Jim Rounds. 4 has just got there where it matters.
4's got up.
Definitely the 4. Yeah, 4's got up.
But I learned my lesson from being too confident.
I'm not sure.
So
4, 100%.
I think 4.
100%.
I've done the right thing and called a photo. I think so.
Yeah.
2 is desperate not getting past there.
But that's what. If you see the 5.75 run, 1 can't lead 2. That's just on the break. It's just ridiculous. And as I say, 2 knows how to get himself beat. Rob, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think even if 2 did get past at that point, I don't think it would have made a difference to the outcome, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that, but I just think that two's a different dog on it. That's just front running, because how many times he met one on the bend and checked over the back and lost that? That's what I'm saying about 2. Put for Rags got beat by a Swift Quad. Where's Swift Quad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Look.
So you reckon if 2 got in front of the 1, it'd be on the bunny and it would be a different,
That's
story?
what I mean. And not checking in behind it all the time.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, I wasn't expecting that from the 4 dog, not after watching this race over Central Park.
But
he fell in the hole after.
And again, that indicates what I'm saying. Look, how fast 2 got beaten? What lengths has it lost checking over the back of 1?
Yeah, I can see that. Now. Yeah, and even missing it out of the boxes, that's another 2 or 3 lengths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the 575 form, Ryan, against that you just go, welcome to Romford.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at that form, to be fair, and even on the times alone, if you would have put the 2's best times against the 1's best times, it should have been in front by about 11 lengths at the 575 mark. And then put it over the 750. Then
But no, I'm not. I'm not being horrible, but put for Rags is just one of the, again, as I say, if it was a 575, I would have wanted to lay that dog with speedy dogs around it, because I know it's just going to.
575, no doubt.
Yeah, it's going to gear down on the bends, and I thought, well, the fact that it's in a 750 is a good move, really, because you've seen 2 beat 1 to the bend, you've seen 2 beat 5 to the bend. All you're looking is for 3, got no speed, and 4, like you said, Central Park showed no pace, and a little bit of middle. But so if 2 gets on the front end, it's a different dog, and you see there, but that's dog racing for you, and that is getting carried away again with even money chances. For dogs actually that can get themselves beat.
Yeah, the clues in the name.
Putt for Rags.
You called it.
I must admit, I gotta say, I was looking to get the dog beat, and then the more I looked at it, and I did look at it in depth, and I thought, well, how can this get beat? If it leads, it'll go further and further clear. And again, all it's doing is running up the arse of a dog that it platted to the bend over 575. It platted to the bend. So you tell me how a dog over 575, 1 and 2 go to the bend, and 2's much faster than 1, and all of a sudden you go over the 750 boxes or the 400 boxes, and 1's traps in front of 2, and 2 can't get past it.
Yeah.
It's a change of boxes at Romford as well.
You can tear your hair out, and that's, listen, you don't need me to tell you that.
Definitely different timings between the 400 and the 575 boxes. You see,
because they changed the boxes, didn't they, about 7-8 years ago?
They swapped them with Crayford, didn't they?
Yeah,
sure.
And
a couple of years ago, they swapped them with Crayford.
Much more reliable in terms of getting the pingers out.
Yeah.
But with Colm's given us something to save us tomorrow. Great viewing, lads. One for you tomorrow. Collective Power 315 Navan. Thank you next time. It's about 6-1 if anyone wants to get on. On to the morning card up early for the prices. Great show. Thank you very much. Rob, Ryan, it's been a pleasure. You've been excellent guests and very, very, very good reading of the races tonight.
Yeah, excellent.
Very impressive. Thank you very much. We'll have to have you both on again if you'll join us again.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed myself. Lovely night.
Yeah, you've been brilliant, Ryan. Thank you, and you as well, Rob. And good luck tomorrow morning with your runners at Crayford.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, chaps. Thanks, everyone. We will be back for the derby. We'll see you
everyone.
next week. Cheers all.